What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? This is JC, and welcome to the Wealth Engineering Podcast. So, if you're new here, I create content to encourage you to increase your net worth, retire early, and build generational wealth. So, if this is something that interests you, make sure you click the bell, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. But how do we do that, guys? There is many vehicles that can help us grow our wealth, and this can be real estate, stocks, crypto, definitely crypto. And today we're going to talk about that. You could do it in business too, but the rates of returns, the ROI, are much more interesting in cryptocurrency these days. And today you see the title, you see the thumbnail, you know what's up, you know what we're going to talk about: DeFi, decentralized finance. And we have a lot to talk about. I'm inviting someone on the panel to talk about that today. But before we get there, I want to give a shout out to my new subscribers, but definitely my old subscribers, my wealth engineers in the chat, OGs, Aaron B, Wally. Thank you for showing up early, and the rest will come. But then hit the like button, guys, as you're coming up here, and let's get going. So, what are we going to talk about today? So, DeFi, decentralized finance, is a topic that has been booming in the crypto world basically last year. And this year as well, we've seen the evolution of that. They're even talking about DeFi 2.0, and we'll see how far we get in this topic today. But we're going to talk about DeFi, and I'm going to invite our guests here, and we'll just basically talking about ways that you can grow your wealth, investments, and DeFi, decentralized finance, and cryptocurrencies. So, with that said, guys, that's basically what I wanted to let you know. DeFi is something you should look into. I believe it's the future of finance. Think of it this way. Let's think of it this way. Especially in poor countries, the West, they had like the telecommunication files, or they had the wire telephone. Then it switched to a wireless phone in the house, right? You can walk around in the house with your wireless phone. And then you had the cell phone, right? But for the poor countries, like where I grew up in Haiti, we barely had the wired telephone across the country. And then as soon as the cell phone came out, we had a leap. Within 3-4 years, the entire country, everyone had a cell phone somehow. No, remember those Nokias that you could play snakes on? Well, this is what everyone had in Haiti. And within 3 years, it was much more easy. It was easier to do those economic exchange because people can communicate across the country, right? So imagine we had a layer of payment system on top of that. And there is many part of the country and the world that is still unbanked, right? People have hard time getting access to credit, getting access to loan, even have ways to digitalize their banking systems, paying bills online, buying things online. In the West world, we take that for granted, but in the rest of the world, it's something that is quite a commodity to have. It's quite a luxury to have. And with decentralized finance, we have this opportunity, just like there was a leap in communication and from the world. It's the same leap that we can have, right? It's the same leap that we can have in countries like Haiti, the world. And that's going to encourage a lot more people to embark in the crypto world, as opposed to leaving the stock market, for example, only for the rich and wealthy, or in the West world. So now the entire world can also contribute, invest, and also getting access to credit. So that's what I believe about decentralized finance. But I don't want to talk too much about it. I want to introduce my guest today, and we'll go from there. So without further ado, let me introduce to you Perry Unlikely. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, doing good, man. Doing good, man. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
In case you don't know, guys, Perry Unlikely is this upcoming YouTuber in the crypto world. His channel is blowing up lately. He's been very passionate about crypto as a whole. And the reason why I invited him today is because I noticed he's starting to have a passion for decentralized finance too. And I saw a couple of videos, and I'm like,
Absolutely.
well, it would be a great person to start talking about this. But before we get on the topic, before we get on decentralized finance, just want to give a quick shout out to J Bones. Nice to see you here. Thank you for showing up. And let me ask you this before we get there. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do? And then let's go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, born and raised in small town America. Always had a passion for, just moving up in life, honestly. I've always been goal oriented, just always pushing through the next thing. So I did go to college and got into supply chain management and logistics. So I've always had a passion for that, for distribution and things like that. So really got into that, and in the course of that realized, regardless of how much money you make, money, once you get money working for you, you start to reach a whole nother level. So I got into real estate investing, and really just had a paradigm shift when I realized you could be making money while you're at work, and money coming in from rental properties. And then as I kept on going down the rabbit hole, then I discovered crypto, and that was another shift. I always stay true to real estate, but we're at a time right now in crypto where I don't know any other type of investment where you can do this well. So I kind of shifted to that because I was spending so much time on it, and that's how I've arrived. And I've been doing this now with crypto for probably 3 years or more now, and it seems like an eternity, but it's really flown by, man. And in crypto, literally it seems like every 2 weeks something new is coming up. So we're on to something new every couple of weeks. There's always new use cases coming. So that's how I arrived. That's how I arrived here.
Man, trust me, man. I started this rabbit hole too on cryptocurrencies, and I'm going through the same way. Every day now, we're getting opportunity. I have a Discord, and we're sharing information.
Okay, yeah.
In this Discord channel, definitely start your Discord, man. We got to talk about that later.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely.
But meanwhile, if you want inspiration, join mine, man. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I definitely will, man. And I love to just talk about it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely
get ideas going, and even I'm even looking at projects myself, man. Just how to get involved,
Actually, just a quick side note right away, guys. In case you're watching, you new. Shout out to you, Lovely. How are you doing? How you doing, guys? Just an announcement, guys. In case you didn't know, so yesterday I finally have access to Token Metrics. So I've been playing it with it a couple hours last night, and man, this is a tool, guys. So happy that I have it. We're going to share a lot of information in the group. So for everyone who subscribed to my Patreon next month, and also everyone who has the OG package, you guys can ask any questions. I'll be looking up cryptos for you and provide as much information I have on that platform. So already I had the choice between so many cryptocurrencies I wanted to invest, but this platform alone makes it so much easier to come up with which project you should prioritize first, because you can see a price prediction and using AI, using very high level analysis. We're talking about like Wall Street financial type of reports. Like I was reading a report yesterday. I'm reading this and I'm on page 3. And I'm like, wow, this is worth $5,000. At the time of the research that was deploying, the knowledge that is being introduced, and it saves you so much time in research. And
Ian and Bill at Token Metrics, man, they know their stuff, man. There's no doubt about it, man. No doubt about it at all.
Too, right?
No, actually, what's crazy, I don't use it, but honestly, I really should be. I watch their videos. Literally all the time. But man, I have used it, and what's funny, I have used it before, and I put a lot of other people onto it all the time, man. Because they use the quant grades and stuff like that, and also a lot of YouTubers do use it just to make those picks, man.
Absolutely.
And the beauty of what they do is, it takes the human behavior out of it, and that's our biggest enemy, in my opinion, when we're investing. is human behavior. So absolutely, man. Shout out to
Emotion.
Token Metrics.
Emotion. Yeah, I'm absolutely like I didn't there's a lot of people who knew about it, but they don't puzzle it together. Me, as soon as I heard they use AI to help find trends earlier, I was
Yes.
already involved. And when I realized they also do code reviews, because
Yes.
that's something, especially when we're going to talk about early DeFi projects, that's something I got burned a couple times where if
Absolutely.
you there might be a project that sounds great, they have great marketing, but then guess what? When you go in the codes, it could be a scam. They could actually uncode a scam on there. And
A
if you
rug
don't know how
pull
to
and
read
stuff
the
like that.
yeah, if you don't know how to read a code, then you won't find that out. But these people, they're actually they have like developers, they have like analysis, they have researchers, and they put all that into a report. And then
Exactly.
just to give you guys a tease, because I'm so excited about this, man. Like I'm so excited. But what I do is I sign up on the full year membership with the premium account, and then I'll go share whatever information I can get with the Discord group,
Yeah.
so that we
Nice.
can have we could be like a teamwork,
Yeah, I
like.
got to get in on the Discord, man.
But yeah, well, there is different tiers, right? Different tiers, but
Yes. No, hey, that's how it should be, man. Because you put a lot of time and effort into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So far, I've invested $16,000 in acquiring knowledge and research and
I
early
believe it.
information. So yeah. So guys, just quick notes. We have this deal going on, expiring December 31st. If you sign up with the course, you get free access to all the channels in the Discords for a lifetime. After that, it's going to be a monthly Patreon subscription. All right. So make sure you check that out. But let me show you very quickly, man. I was reading this, and this have you heard of Affinity?
Yeah. Yeah, I have it's a polka dot
Mm-hmm.
it's a polka dot project and it's about NFTs.
Right. So
Absolutely.
perfect. So that's one of the projects I had on my watch list. And then
Yes.
one of the first cryptos I checked out yesterday was Affinity on the Token Metrics platform. And then look at this. They also provide you with this report. So
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah. It's a nice report, 11, 12, 13 pages. And man, you reading this, man, investment thesis, they come up with
Oh, so
uh,
they give you the full rundown.
bro, and that's not just it, right? This is just like the introduction to the cryptos.
Oh man, that's nice.
They tell you the difference between Infinity and the competitors, the use cases, man. Like I'm telling you, by the time I was on page 3, I was already impressed.
Yeah.
So that's the real type of investor, the fundamental works that you need to do. Understand the competitive advantage early on so that you can make early investments and understand the token economics, tokenomics, they call it. And then, yes, man, and make a strategy around it. But as you're reading these guys, they even suggest the best timing to come in. And it's not just a matter of reading a report. It could be also like I'll very quickly, guys, because I'm so passionate about this. And again,
Yeah.
I remember I was telling you earlier, I don't want to be sidetracked, but
Yeah, and I
but
did want to point out
so,
one thing about how Token Metrics started.
mm,
Ian actually, I want to say it was the previous bull run in
mm-hmm,
2017.
mm-hmm.
He literally, I think he used Excel spreadsheets and started out with, it might have literally been 5,000, and literally showed people how he worked his way up to becoming, making multi-millions. So then
Exactly.
after that, then he went in and started a business, and
Mm-hmm. And
and
use
now
the
today,
same principle.
right? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly, and there is a couple of ideas he had because I work in tech. I'm an engineer, so
Yeah.
I kind of understand the software world, especially when it's mixed with AI.
Right.
So I understand how it works. But there were a couple of ideas I had that he already implemented, but there are things that he's doing that I never even thought of. And
Yeah.
the fact
That's
that he
awesome.
makes it super accessible. Just to give you a quick ideas, man. I'll give you a pick. I'll give you another pick,
Good
guys.
deal.
Yeah, give me a second. Give me a second. So here it is, man. So yeah, you go on their platform like this. You can Google. You can just type the cryptos you want. It gives you a price prediction, right? And that's it can gives you a price prediction. This is where it's at. This is what they're expecting in the next couple days. So that's one thing. They do many fundamental analysis. Hence what you're reading earlier today. They talk a lot about the technology, the report, and they do that for many cryptos. And depending on the volumes, the more volumes it has, the more information you'll see here. But yeah,
Nice.
when at the in a nutshell, that's basically like I think they even have indices, ratings. Rating is one of the most like used things that people use this platform for. They basically make a strategy based on, you see those ratings here, the one that has 95, 94, 90%. So according to them, if we're looking at the daily, these are the projects that you should be looking into because they have a very bullish trend. And
Nice.
if it's past 75, it's something to look at. And when you look at the ranks, right? The ranks is like 500, 500 in the coin market cap. Then and you're reading at the reports, and the reports is like they estimate this could be one of the top 100. Well, right then and there, you
Cha-ching.
ching ching. So man, like and there is a lot of these projects I was already like I already had them on my watch list. I came across them on YouTube. I came across them on any other platforms. And then when I see this with the technical research, with fundamentals, with all that, it makes the decision so much easier on where to propose. So all that to say, guys, I got the account with a 1 year premium membership. It was even with the discount, it was $2,000. It was 40% discount, and it was $2,000. But I have it now, so you guys, especially if you're in my Patreon or you have the OG membership, lifetime membership access, you can ask me a questions. I'll go look it up, and then I'll copy and paste whatever information I get from this crypto in the Discord, so that you don't have to pay 2,000 or 4,000 to have access to this information. We can work at it together. So that's one of the one of the many benefits in my Discords, and I'm very happy to present that to you guys. So it's up and running. Token Metrics is up and running, guys. But
Nice.
sorry about that. Sorry, I
Oh
had
no,
to.
that's all good, man. That's good information. Great
Yeah, but
information.
if you're interested, man, they have different tiers, and then they currently have a 40% discount up until Monday.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So.
hop on. I'm already gonna hop back on and check out. And it's funny, when I originally, was aware of token metrics, man. Of
Mm,
course, obviously they are proven. Man, the price might have been, it might have been like $600 a year or something. I mean, with the premium, but that's been so long ago.
mm,
But I hear so many people talk about them, and
right.
when I watch their videos, I watch their analysis, and what I've also realized, they do have a guy that does videos, and
Mm-hmm. The market updates, right?
yeah, and a lot of times what I notice on some of the videos where they'll get on and they'll talk about, what's realistic for the bull run for a certain coin, and I'll notice it's one that I've talked about, and it's around the same area that I got it because they try to be conservative, and that's the way I am.
Mm.
You can do so well in this space. There's no need for all the hype, and that's one thing on my channel I try to do is just be realistic. Every coin's not going to the moon, but some of these
Absolutely.
channels will tell you they all are. So absolutely, man.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
that's something I definitely promote too. That long-term investment strategy. You focus on project that has high growth, but
Mm-hmm.
has sound fundamentals. That
Right.
fundamentals can be the team, can be the market demand for the products, can be basically if the code actually says what it's supposed to say, right?
Right.
And yeah, so there's many different things you can look at. I even sometimes go look at the community and try to see how active they are, how passionate they are about the projects. Things like that give you an indicator of sometimes it could take me 3 months to go on one project, right?
Right.
But once I find that one project, I'll try to load up as much as I can. But
Absolutely.
that's why I'm so happy, man. Now I can save 3 months of my life
Abs-
searching.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I
But
love it.
anyway, so that's basically what I wanted to show you guys. But let's go back to you. You were so I understand. So you do real estate. You started the dark hole of cryptocurrencies and never looked back since. But you're also very conservative as well as real estate. But let me ask you this:
Mm-hmm.
back in the days, let's say before you started your career, let's say you're in high school. If I
Right.
was in your high school, what type of guy would you be like? What would I think of you as your friend?
Man. Man, a joker. Always, man, always just laughing. Honestly, to a degree, a class clown. To To a degree, but what's funny in that, it's like you always had friends because of that. But what I realized was I never, and this is what's crazy, because a lot of us have dreams growing up of being like entertainers or athletes.
Yeah.
But what happened is, what I learned about the class clown is I realized, not, and I had friends regardless, but that I felt like at one point I was just like, you're just putting on a show for people. And it really shifted my mindset where, well, hold up. I don't want to be an athlete or an entertainer because I don't want to feel like my worth is tied to putting on a show for someone. So then it kind of pushed me towards more of the intellectual, more of that type of thing, in the intellectual field. So, but yeah, in high school, man, I've always been laid back and always been the one who, even with my friends, I'm constantly telling them about just dreams and visions I have. And they're like, man, what are you talking about? But I'm the type, I'm going to do it anyway. Something I say is this, in the past, and even today, when I was younger, I'd be like, well, I'm going to this party tonight, or I'm going wherever, you trying to roll. And my friends would be like, yeah, I'm going. And then it come time and I'm like, yo, y'all ready? Oh man, I'm not going to be able to go. All right, well, I'm headed out. And they'd be like, oh, you still going? Yeah, you're more than welcome to come, but what decision you make has nothing to do with me. When I set my mind to something, I'm going to go do it regardless. Now, if you come with me, we can both do it. But if not, I'm going to go by myself. So I've always been that way. Always been that way. So.
Hey, I can relate a lot with what you said, but very quickly, I want to give a shout out to blind guy, his wife, their life.
Shout out
to you. We have a super
Absolutely.
team tonight, the best two guys together. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very much.
But yeah, I can relate a lot with you, man. I was the class clown since the first day I was in school all the way to the last day, man. There was a time that I think I beat the records of how many times I went to the principals.
Same here, man. Same here, man. Same here.
Oh man, so trust me, man, I can relate with that. But me too, man. I'm a dreamer. I still am. Even my wife sometimes asks me, man, you gotta come up to earth, man, because you dream too high,
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, man, I can relate with that. But let me ask you this. So I know you were a dreamer, you were the Joker, but what about money? Like, were you serious about money? Were you thinking about money?
Yeah.
Or like, what were you thinking you were going to do in your life?
Always. It's funny. What's crazy is, so I used to work for, and I remember it, I used to work for this guy at my church, and we would clean out his stables, his horse stables. We wouldn't get paid nothing. We would get lunch and like a couple of dollars. And I remember when I was 12, there was this little like produce market. You could go plant flowers and get paid $12 an hour under the table.
What?
So yeah, so I
12.
Yeah,
it's like $1 for each age.
Yes, exactly. So when I got a taste of that, I just remember being like, man, this is freedom. I've got my own money, and just, I'll never forget that. And then it's funny because I did that as long as I could. And then as soon as I could get a worker's permit at like 14, I think I worked at Burger King and KFC. And then I remember you go from that $12 under the table to like, $5.15 an hour in taxes. And I remember I was crushed. Like once I saw my actual check.
Oh no.
When they took it out. But the thing that stuck with me was once you get that money and realize it's yours and you can control and I don't have to ask anybody for anything. I never looked back. I've been working ever since then. And because of that, for me, going to work has never been, it's never been a thing where like, man, I hate going to work. Working is just what I do. It's really all I know. So, so it's always been natural. And then as far as what I'm going to do with my money, I did aspire, you grow up and you see the culture. You see, of course, I went through, and I'm 37, I went through the rims, the sound system, the bling, here in America, that's what.
I know what you mean. Sorry, man. The rims, the spinning rims, right? When you couldn't buy the real one, you had the fake shiny one.
Yes. And it's so funny because when you get older, you're like, man, that's so whack. But when you're younger, it's just this. You go from that to then going like, look, the ride I get, I'm riding with the factories on it because what I'm getting, the factories are perfectly perfect enough. But I just remember wanting some of those things. And and I had a sound system. I had some nice rides, but honestly, I went into a Dave Ramsey course at 22 years old, and I did not follow. Yeah, my mother actually got it for me. She's like, "Hey, I'm gonna pay for us to both go through this." So, because we didn't really have much growing up, so the funny thing is, I didn't follow that to a T. But what it did, it tempered my expectations on. It put me in this thing of which I understood anyway, but opportunity cost.
Of course, man.
And it made me realize, hold up. Now, if I get a car payment that is, let's just say if I get a car payment that was $700, but I could have one that's $250, what can that extra money do for me that's life-changing down the road? And it almost gave me this fear of overspending and being able to do now, but not having anything later. So I always kept it simple. And it's funny, regardless of what car I drive, my payments have always been around $250, $300. So if I have to put more, just $250 every car I've ever had.
Even at 30, you said 37, correct?
Yeah, even now. What I do, I'll put extra money down on it.
Okay.
But my payment, so the cars may be nicer, but I always keep the payment around something small just because I want to make sure that I'm putting my money into the right place. And now I'm reaching a point where I'm like, doesn't matter what car I get. If a rental, I have to add rental properties first that give me enough income to pay that car payment. And if it won't, then I won't buy it. And it doesn't matter what car it is.
So you do that with real estate. I see.
Yeah. That's what I do with real estate is if if the real estate won't pay for it, then I'm not going to buy it. It doesn't matter. So.
Well, that was going to be my next question. I was going to be asking you, what are you currently doing right now to engineer your wealth?
Yes. So right now, I'm actually in the phase where, so I was getting more and heavier into real estate. And then I kind of stopped like dead in my tracks and shifted to crypto. And I've been in this cycle so long. I'm at a point, honestly, I don't even really have to buy any more crypto, for this cycle, just with what it's going to do. But I'll continue to add some here and there.
Of course,
because I've been in it so long. But what I am doing though, I'm actually shifting it to where I will start buying more crypto and then or more real estate. I want the real estate to buy crypto. So it's kind of like I buy real estate buys crypto. And the crypto kind of circles back in and stuff like that. So I'm actually gearing up between now and the end of this cycle to buy a couple more fourplexes and duplexes and things like that. And then get ready. Once those get going, roll it back into crypto when the market is at its low point,
That's an interesting view that you have. I mean, again, I'll be making a couple streams also about real estate. So maybe around that time, I'll invite you to talk more about that. But I want to focus more on the crypto parts for now. But it's funny. I'll just mention that very quickly. It's funny the way you do it because I do it the total opposite. I love real estate. Real estate, but man, I'm kind of like these guys who's thirsty for ROI, And then once I started crypto, I noticed those ROI now 30% ROI is like meh, 100% ROI is like And then I'm looking at real estate and I'm like, you need to have a lot of money down. And then by the time you get a 50% ROI, it could be 5-10 years. The cash flow is great, though. When we talk about cash flow, it's great. But then I'm also so lazy, man. I'm lazy, so I know that about myself. I don't want to be waking up one day and be like having to cut off my vacation quick so that I can fix the mirrors. I want to do it, though. I'll do it. It's just that when I do it, I want to have it as a business. And then I also have my property manager business. Like I have like everything And then when I do it all the way one shot, and that's what I'm saying, I'm doing it the opposite way. Whereas I'm going to take that crypto money
and
and
then
then
yeah, and
exactly.
really
But
honestly,
whichever way, there is a million ways to lead to Rome, right?
and
So
yeah, and that's what I've actually probably would have done. It just so happened because I was already in crypto or in real estate first.
exactly. And I
And
believe
then
you have a license for as a realtor, correct?
yes,
Okay.
I do,
So
I
you're
do.
making money also on your like income that way
Well, you know what's
too.
funny? I actually haven't even. I actually hadn't even sold real estate much. I just got. I'm one of those people who I rush out to just. I dove into real estate investment. It was like, well, I got to get a real estate license. You don't really need one, but it does give me access to look at properties. So right at this point, when people ask me, hey, I need to look at a property, and I just show them. I just help people out basically at this point. But that is another avenue I could certainly do full time.
Mhm.
I just don't. I enjoy supply chain management, so I continue to do that now, full time anyway.
Absolutely. And then the one last question before we dive deeper
Mm-hmm.
in DeFi, but just give me a second. There is something I wanted to show you.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh, we were talking about that earlier, so I definitely wanna show you. Give me a second here. But I see, guys. You guys are active on the chat, guys. Thank you for giving. And I'll point out the chat soon enough. But I just wanted to show Perry parodies back in my day, give me a second, give me a sec. So here it is. Look at this. Look at this.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Is that an
So
Altima?
that was my first car, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
worked an entire summer. I worked like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Absolutely,
One
man.
of the first thing I did, man, is
Yep.
putting them
You
fake rims.
gotta have those rims, man.
After I upgraded it to something better, but
Uh,
you gotta fake it till you make it,
yeah,
man.
absolutely, man. I love it.
Oh man, that's so it was just so funny when you were saying that you went through those phases too, man. So
Yes,
it
man.
seems like we have a lot in common, man. We're both dreamers, we're both
Yes, man.
go-getters, and then we're both in crypto. And also, yes, man, we both had those rims.
Yes. Yes, man. I love it, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me ask you this, and
Okay.
so we know where you are when you were early in your teenagers. We know where
Mm-hmm.
you are now, what you're doing to engineering your wealth. What would you say so far in your financial journey to financial independence, basically? What would you say so far that you have learned? Like, what's the biggest lesson you have learned so far about wealth?
The biggest thing was, well, I would say first it was just the simple thing is obviously controlling expenses, but really it's that shift away from full dependency on a paycheck,
Mm.
and this idea that wealth comes from a paycheck.
Hmm.
It just doesn't. I mean, the way I look at a paycheck is it simply helps me buy assets that will create wealth. That's the only way I look at it. But I just think that we live on this notion of most people, if they were fired, they would just fall apart. Getting off of that idea that it's just all about a paycheck and then even just living paycheck to paycheck, just this idea of really I've got to invest, and over time that is going to replace my income. That was the biggest shift, because I think most people are headed on this road where retirement's just this idea that we think happens when you get a certain age, but the truth is it does not happen for most people because they haven't prepared for it. So I got away from that shift of, obviously, and I don't know if it's this way around the world, but certainly in America, we have this idea, I turn 65, I'm good, I can retire. That is just because of what the government will basically allow you to do when you reach a certain age. But what I got in my head was this thing of, well, why not just replace the income now? And then if I want to continue working for someone else, I will. And if not, then I won't. So just that idea of, that there is no just age of retirement. You invest now and start to replace your income now so that you have control over your own finances and stuff. So I think that's the most important thing, is just that shift away from just thinking you got to work for someone else forever and owning your own thing. So
Absolutely, definitely. For me, that shift happened when I was 30 years old. and go from there. But man, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you, and thank you
I
for
was the
sharing
same
that.
age, by the way. It's
Really,
crazy.
when it
I
happens
was
to you?
exact same age when I really was like, yo, man, this is and what I appreciate about it, I was able to work. It's work that helped me arrive there. So it's working for someone else is not easy at times because you have this vision of how you think things should run, even from a
You
moral
have your own
perspective.
dreams.
Yes. And then you realize, hold up, I'm pouring all this in to, and I've worked for great companies. I've worked for some that weren't so good, but you're like, I'm pouring all this into companies that don't even want to do the right thing. I should be able to pour this into myself, and I can trust myself to do the right thing. So I started to reshape the way I look at things.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let me give you a couple shout out here. I see
Okay.
the guys active on the chat, and as you come in, guys, please hit the like button, and also check the link in the description. That's the Perry's Unlikely YouTube channel. Give him a support. Tell him you came. The Wealth Engineering sent you.
Thank you.
But yeah, give him some love as well. He's dropping knowledge, and we're about to drop more knowledge when it comes to DeFi, guys. So stay tuned for that. But shout out to you, blind guy. Much respect to you both, listening and learning. Absolutely. I see this question. I'm going to come back to it. Give me a second. Um, Perry's been working nonstop for the past 25 years. Yes, nonstop. That's the way to go. But I
Okay.
like his mindset, and we share a lot of the same values. Wealth mindset is what is refreshing to learn from. Absolutely, absolutely. And it's very good to learn from other people's journey as well. That's one of the reasons why I do this podcast is we can learn, and that can help save time too. And a wise man learns from other people's mistake, and he can help us to be more wise and saves time as well. So a shout out to you for coming and sharing with the audience here. A question to Perry's. What is your background in supply chains? What do you think about chips companies affecting the production of crypto mining? Hey, great question. Is that something?
Yeah. I think right now it's funny enough. I think because crypto, I think because they're so. I still think with the chips and the things like that. Certainly, within supply chain, certain companies are finding a way to make things happen regardless. And I think there's so much money in crypto that they haven't really seen the effects. But ultimately, I do think it's going to catch up. It is going to catch up with the industry as a whole. But the thing is because money talks, there's really not going to be too many concerns in the realm of crypto. The same way in automotive world, while there's been a slowdown, if you really want to get a car and you're willing to spend,
It's
you
going
can
to
get your
happen.
hands on a car. So
Man, shout
absolutely.
out to you. There was something you mentioned earlier. I wanted to add to that. It doesn't really have much to say about this question, but I wanted to add it before I forget. When you were mentioning about like most people, they're like they lose their job, they would go bankrupt. Shout out to Tony Tony Berry. It's one of the member I had on the podcast here, and he was saying most people in North America are one job away, one job lost away from being bankrupt, and that is so true, man. That is so
Yep.
true. So I'm happy that that was what you got out of your experience so far, and you have to like make more money work for yourself. When it comes to the chips companies affecting, there is, like you said, man, big money in crypto, big money in crypto. And if you guys want any ideas of what's the future is going to look like when it comes to crypto companies, just check out the deal that happened with crypto.com and the Staples Center, right?
It's crazy.
20 years, Staples Center branded. Mm.
Yeah. Well, and here's a point I'll make because my friend was telling me that people were upset. I told them they need to get over it. They're
Mm.
mad that it's not Staples Center. I said, we'll come up with $700 million and name it what you want. If I want it to be Perry Unlikely Center, I can do that. But you got to
Man.
fork over the cash.
Yeah, and the genius of all this,
It's
it's not just
genius.
script, it's not just the name of the company, it's a
Yeah.
website,
It's
bro.
yeah, it's man, it's so
Genius.
genius. It is genius.
So this is an example of money, and this is just the beginning, guys.
Yeah, it
The
is.
entire decade, you will see more and more. Man,
Oh, that just started a whole trail of events right there.
I was listening, man. I was listening to Valuetainment. Shout out to Valuetainment. It's one of the channel I respect a lot. And one of those guys, the guy who bought the NFT for $69 million,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't know if you heard about this deal.
Yeah, it's
$69 million
crazy.
for, so it's he's an Indian guy somewhere in India. He bought it. He's a rich guy, right? And
Yeah.
he was saying that, guys, when Bitcoin hit $1 million, there will automatically be 2,000 billionaires.
Yeah, that's
Now,
crazy.
guess what? When you put all the billionaires in the world right now, there is about 2,000. So as soon as Bitcoin hit $1 million, there will be twice as the amount of billionaires that is now, which will mean there will be more billionaires from cryptocurrencies alone
Yeah,
than
that's
anywhere, any industry in the world.
absolutely, that's crazy.
So just to tell you, hey, if the demand is there, the money is there. Don't worry. If there is a priority, they will prioritize crypto because the people that can make it happen have investments in cryptos.
Absolutely,
Right.
100%, 100%.
So anyway, that's for this question. Shout out to you, Natasha, and individual agency to asset acquisition. I love it. All right, good. Thank you very much
I
for your
know,
comment.
and I do want to say real quick, someone did ask what I thought of Gala, and we can
Yeah,
cover
yeah,
that later. But yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah. Actually, that was my next question. I'm
okay.
scrolling. Then
It's a good one.
you could go ahead and talk about it right there.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good one. Um, Really good project. Look, anything gaming related.
Mm,
Um, where you play to earn, metaverse, these things are blowing up. Anything about, and this is crazy, but land in the metaverse is just going to go, it's going to go absolutely nuts. So, but
nice.
the Gal is a good one. That's a really, really good one. And actually, it took off. And I do think, the market over the past couple of days has been pretty rough.
Mm,
You eventually reach a point where, no joke, when you see red, it's like, a lot of people are like, oh man, the market's down. I love it. It's a chance to buy in. You get a new chance, because what I never do, I never FOMO in. And it's hard not to, because I see, like, crypto.com is one. I was in crypto.com when it was 5 cents, but I sold out of it. I made good money in it, but I sold
yeah,
out
of
of it.
course, of course.
But it's funny because I saw it exploding
Man.
and I didn't rush into it.
Mm,
But had I rushed in at 93 cents, well, here we
yeah,
got
you
back
would.
down to 60 some cent at some
Yeah, you
point.
would be
So
destroyed, right?
so there's just no need to rush in. You always get another opportunity in
Man,
crypto.
very quickly, man. Just get on the Discord and the exclusive one, man. I'm
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
show you my secret. I have something going on my
absolutely.
Discord, and it's. I think when you are equipped with the best information, it can change your decision. So, for example, you said that you made some profit. Let's say you made 200% in your investment in 3-4 months.
Right,
Any investors will say salute to you. This is a great investment. This is absolutely the right thing to do, right?
right.
But you might realize that you have a piece of information, and then you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll hold on that. And then you realize that one day you made like 300 x on it. So
Yeah,
right, so it's all about information, right? So
yes,
trust me, man, get on that Discord because
yes,
I'll show you my secret on many cryptos on how I find early picks and
nice.
how I find targets for them. But also I wanted to mention very quickly about Gala. Me personally, I haven't really dived deep into Gala, but
Mm-hmm.
as you guys were talking, I was looking into it very quickly. I saw that it was on the gaming sector right away. I think this is going to be the next bull run, like the next big thing: gaming, NFTs, metaverse,
Like
play to
Axie
earn.
Infinity, kind
Yeah,
of along those lines. Yeah,
yeah, so the next leg of the bull run, that's exactly what's going to happen. I see a 4 billion, 4.9, almost 5 billion market cap. So this is something that there is a lot of money in it, lots of confidence in it. So what I do like about it is that high market cap, but also I'm looking at it, 41 already on the rank. So I don't see much room for it to grow like past what it's that. If it crashes 50, 70%, then you
right.
buy it there, perfect, right? But it's already ranked 41. I don't know, man. I don't see it like on this bull run already making it top 10, right?
And I agree, and I actually agree with you on that. I think if you're in that one already, then you're good.
Mm,
But if you're not, what the way I look at it is, a good way to look at something like that, especially because I agree with you. Metaverse gaming for the remainder of this bull run, that's really the next leg, and
mm,
we're starting out in that in layer twos as well. What I think is, it's a great opportunity. And what I'm trying to do is say, okay, I'm going to grab 3 projects in the gaming sector every week. I'm going to do a deep dive, and I'm really going to try to get into it and even try to play some of the games to say, like, when I sit down and play this, or when I get into it, is this, and I know Fortnite, and I've never even played Fortnite, but to say Fortnite's probably a stretch, but can this hang with the other ones or can it not? Because that's the good thing about gaming. You know if the game is good or not. Even if you're not really a game player, we can tell if the graphics are good or not.
Oh yeah.
So it's really that, and it's funny because one thing I've always been able to do with my friends, I've been able to spot talent in the musical industry. Yeah, obviously they're not making a living off of it, but I've been able to say, hey, this person's next. And then it might be a couple years, it might be a couple months later, boom, they got a hit. And it's like, my boy will be like, man, you called that one. Well, it's the same way in this. You got to feel for it, and you got to buy these things when nobody else is. You don't want to wait until it blows up, then get in. You want to do it. You want to get into it before. So the gaming sector to me is the easiest one because it's gaming. I mean, you get a chance to look at it, and if you got a feel for it and you think it's good, then you have an idea of where the market will go. So
absolutely, man. I think you said it all right. That's exactly what I was gonna say too, and that's why I was showing the market cap and how high it already is. It all matters in your timing. Like we were looking at that initial graph here. Look at that. It's boomed already. It went from 9 cents to 71 cents. It's already at rank 41. Like the chances for it to reach $1, it might peak there, but it won't last long. And then it was going to compete with many other cryptocurrencies. What I would try to find, who did ask this question? It was Big Time Drum, right? Shout out to you. What I would try to find is try to find a cryptocurrencies in a gaming world that hasn't done this spike yet. Right. So this spike, you want to buy it here. You want to buy it here. You don't want to wait for this to buy it and then jump at it. I don't know if that's what you did, but I'm just saying, like, and in the Discord right now, guys, we were looking for cryptocurrencies with the potential to do just that, and we're trying to time them right here. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about token metrics.
Like Star Atlas is one. Some of those before they get to that point. Like,
hey, did you check this? Did you check Starlink yet?
Yeah. Actually, I've been looking at that one lately. Yes.
We got you, right? So anyway, hey, you have 2 cryptos right there that you can start looking into, and then we have the potential to do that, right? If you can load up, and what I like to do, and different people have different strategies, right? Me, what I what I tell people is, instead of doing the shotgun approach where you put $500 in many cryptocurrencies, try to do like a sniper approach. Put that a hefty amount in one of the good projects that has a high potential, but do your research, and then the more research you do, the more confident you will be with your investments, and get the resource there. But guys, that's why we're here in a Discord, guys. We help you with that. But I think that answers your question. Let me ask, so let's go back on the topic here. So thank you for sharing that, Perry. Unlikely.
Absolutely.
It's that I totally agree with you on the way you see things, and we'll go from there. Now, let's with the topic today is DeFi, decentralized finance. What would you say, like, if you had to define that? Like, do you have kids? Do you have
Yeah, I do. Yeah, two.
How old are your kids?
2 boys, man. And let me tell you, it's
2 boys?
rough. It's 2 years and 6 months.
6 months. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
2-year-old and 6
My
months.
first one is turning 1-year-old in 3 days.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Congrats, man. Yeah, it's work, man. It's work.
Yeah. So let's assume your kid were like 5 years old, right?
Right.
And then you would define, and he was like, "Hey, Daddy, what is DeFi?" So
yes.
So what would you say? How would you define decentralized finance? Like, what is DeFi?
It's funny. At first I was gonna say trusted banking, but actually I would say trustless banking, where I don't have to trust, because we can't trust the banks. And I'm not someone who's a big conspiracy guy, but we know the banks, when I put 100 in there, they take 100% of that and they loan it out to other people. The whole bank's existence is off of what we put in there. And they used to at least leave 10% actually in there. Now it's all gone. They take that whole $100, loaning out to other people. So because of that, that's what's really caused problems in our financial system. So I would explain to them with decentralized finance, it's about not having to trust it the same way that Bitcoin is programmed. We have these protocols that are hard programmed to execute, no emotions, really. As you said earlier, if there's accurate audits, right? No schemes, no scams. I put my money in there. And a good point is, and that's why there's such a wrestle right now with, with the government and stable coins, is there's literally platforms right now. You can literally put, you can take $100,000, you can take $10, $100, put it in this platform and receive 8% interest. I mean,
8%.
why would anybody ever go put their money in a savings account?
8%, man. I'm not even looking at single digits anymore, man.
I mean, people don't even understand how nuts this is. If you can get 8% out of the stock market, you'll take that all day. Yeah. We're talking about just putting it in a platform, leaving it alone, and matching what people try to do in the stock market. It's just, man, it's nuts, man. It's nuts.
Earlier this year, I was promoting VRA, like when it was 1 cent, right? I was telling people, man, get on VRA. VRA, VRA. They had patents.
Nice platform, yeah, absolutely.
Proof of view. Proof of view. So this is a unique thing in the not just the crypto industry, but in the world. Proof of view. It's something that YouTube, Facebook, they were going to need.
Yes.
Data. So VRA is well set on that. So I was telling people, man, this project is undervalued to really bad, man. Get on it.
Yep.
Turned out this year it went from 1 cent to 7 cents. And guess what? Everyone was holding it, was staking it. If you don't know what staking is, I made a long stream about that. It's one of my most viewed videos so far. So go check it out, guys. It's a complete class on how to stake, what it is from A to Z, right? So go check it out, guys. And then, man, I staked it, right? When I started staking it, it was 36.5%. 36.5% a year. So you know what that means? You know what that means? Every day I get 1%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
On my investment.
That is crazy.
And it's right on the time, bro, because it's programmed, right?
Right.
So if you made the first staking at 9:30, tomorrow 9:30, bam, boom, I get 1% every day.
Can't beat that, man.
And then after they reduce it to 25.5%, but even that, but while it's doing a 7x, my initial investment 7x, and while that was happening, I was collecting basically 25.5% APY on it. So guys, that's what I'm saying. That's why I call the cash flow value investing. You make money now with the cash flow. You make money on the future with the value appreciation. And the reason why I love doing that on cryptocurrencies is because there's no expenses, man. So all the money you get automatically is profit on your pocket. You can sell it right away. You can liquidate it right away. And that's kind of why I focus more on cryptocurrencies until I build up my portfolio large enough. But I'm definitely going to. And man, when I'm ready to go in the States, man, I'll check you out, my friend. I'll check you out, man.
Hey, absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I love it, man. I can't say enough either about, it's funny. I don't, although I've worked for people for years, it's crazy. I get more joy out of finding some old item I have and throwing it on Facebook Marketplace and selling it. There's just a rush with like just that hustle, like legal hustle, obviously, but so legally hustling, that is.
Of course.
But it's funny because that was always a high, even just a small item, $20. It's just like, yo, I did this myself. But when you get into a coin, and like Cardano's that for me, that's one of them. Cardano's one for me. VeChain is one. And there's several of them, but Ethereum is one. When you get into a coin and you say, hey, this one, I've read up on it, I know about it, I don't care. I'm sticking with this one because I know it's going to do its thing. And then you go from 6 cents in Cardano up to like $3, and it's down to but it's a high, man. It's just hard to it's hard to put words on that when you see the multiples in crypto. It's just there's no way to explain that,
Man,
man. You can't get that anywhere else in the world.
Can you imagine this year, the first time this happens to me? The first time this happened to me earlier this year.
Yeah.
I woke up, I went to sleep. That's one of the things I do. I go to sleep, I look at my portfolio, I put my phone down. I wake up, man, and then I'm like, my portfolio went up $10,000.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't
So
it?
the
It's
first time that
crazy.
happens to me, I mean, there was a time. The first time that happened to me, and my portfolio went up $1,000. I was
Yeah.
excited. Then I got used to it. And then
Yeah.
the first time it happened to me on $10,000, I was like, "Oh my god! Oh my
Yeah.
god! I made $10,000 today!"
Yeah.
And guess what, man? Guess what? That happened over and
and
over
over
and
and over.
over
Yeah,
and
it's
over again. And now I'm used to it, man.
Yeah,
Now my
it's
portfolio can go down $30,000,
yeah,
and I'm not even
not
flinching.
phased at all. Not
And
phased at all.
to me, at the same time, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm not flinching, but I'm also appreciating the journey that it took me to get to
To
that
get
point, because
that is so, man, you were
the,
so right. You were,
and
and
I'm
I wouldn't trade
remembering
that.
how I used to feel. It's just the same as YouTube. Like when I get one subscribers, I'm like,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes. And
Yes.
I'm still the same way, by the way. If I see
Yes.
one minus subscribers, I'm like, ooh.
You know what? And it's funny you said that about YouTube. There's a big correlation because I'm very blessed. I hit 5,000 subscribers today, which it's been I say it's been a long journey. That I
Congrats,
really
man.
started
Congrats
in
on that, man.
January, but it's funny because I still do look at that like every one subscriber I truly appreciate it because they don't have to, and the majority of people that watch your videos aren't subscribed. Anyway, so it's like every time someone chooses to do that, I appreciate it. And it's funny that journey of bumping my head through these crypto streets, man. And
Yeah.
I remember when $100 drop, and it wasn't even financially that it was going to bother me, but it's just it was that sense of not knowing what I'm doing. Like, oh my gosh, man, I just put this in. I remember hearing about a coin, hopping into it, getting wrecked, and then now just being like laid back. It's like you just sit back at a restaurant, just watch the room, see what's going on. And then now when you go into it with peace. And that's why literally there was a day where my portfolio in May, when it crashed, was down 50%. Now that's the only time literally this year that I was like, I remember I was sitting in here and I told my wife, I'm like, I need the bleeding to stop. Okay. It's 50% down. Now, I didn't sell anything. I just wanted to stop going down. I didn't sell out of it or nothing. And then you know what? It doubled back. It came right back. So
that's the thing I was mentioning. It's never a loss until you sell. It's unrealized. I know that sometimes it made you feel that way, but you know what? I actively work my mind to go over that. And now, honestly, there was a time my portfolio in the bear market went down to 80%. That was my long-term portfolio. And I did also something else with it where I lost almost 90% of my entire portfolio. Like I lost it because I actually sold it, right? And I made all that money back this year plus more. But what I wanted to say is when I see the market go down at this point right now in my life, I get excited, man. I want to sell like my kidney, man. I'm like, man, you sure, man? I'm giving you a discount today, man.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the way I am. I'm very excited. I'm trying to find money anywhere, any small changes, man, so I can dump on the market. So the lower it goes, man, it's the reason why I'm so comfortable is because I have done the research, guys. I'm confident about the research, the market, the rate of growth. I looked at that almost every day, and now with the tools that we have, it's even easier to do that. So that's why I'm so comfortable, because I know it's going to go back up. And that's a perfect segue to this question right here. You were talking about Cardano earlier. Do you think, a shout out to you, Big Time Drum, do you think Cardano is going to make a surprise come up next year? Wealth engineering, very unlikely. What are your thoughts on Cardano so far?
Yeah, I'm not worried about Cardano at all. I still have Cardano. Right now a lot of people get worried because I think I looked today, it was down to like $1.49. I haven't sold any. No worries at all. Ultimately, the longer these coins consolidate, the more upside you're going to see. I expect Cardano to turn around and head back towards $3. Pretty soon. Everything in this market is relative to what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin is the leader. and for now, the foreseeable future will continue to be. So if Bitcoin's down, typically, then the rest of the market's going to be down, unless it's like the end of the cycle and the people are taking their money out, their gains to put into the alts, but it'll still relatively be up. But I see Cardano still within this market cycle hitting somewhere around in between at least $7 to $8 to $10, and it could do more. I will not be surprised to see $10, and that's if we see Bitcoin, get over that $120,000-$150,000 mark, and I think it will.
I just want to mention very quickly, this is our humble opinion, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
not
we're not
financial
advisor. This is not financial advice. So this is just our humble opinion, and it's for educational and entertainment purpose only. With that said, it's up to you what you want to do with Cardano. Me personally, earlier this year, I was in Cardano. I made some money. I got out of it. Do I believe in Cardano? Absolutely. I think it's one of the most fundamentally sound projects out there. This is why my opinion to you, my point to you guys is look at the fundamentals. Don't look at the price. Look at the value. Don't look at the price. Value. Always precede the price, right? If the value is low and the price is high, don't worry. The price will follow the value. And if the value is high, the price is low, the price will follow the value, right? So that's the way you should look at it. So always look at the value. And how do you measure value? You're looking at the fundamentals. Did the fundamentals change for Cardano? Well, you know what? You might have a point. Maybe they're getting delisted, so you might have an idea about understanding why this happened. Does that change the big picture for Cardano? Does that change how it's going to be delivered in the market? So that would be a question I would start asking myself to decide, should I be buying more? Should I hold? Should I sell what I currently have? And based on your own comfort, different people have different risk tolerance. I'm a very risky guy. Perry Unlikely is more conservative type of guy. So depending on your personality, you have to tailor your portfolio with your own personality. So you got to please yourself too, because trust me, if you don't, it's going to lead you into errors. Because if you're a risky guy and then you're only invested in conservative, at some point you're going to sell your conservative stocks and go on risky, and you're gonna go wreck.
Right.
And vice versa. So that's all I have to say about it.
Let me add to that. When it comes down to it, just about, like we said, look at the fundamentals. One way I like to look at that is this. If you had a chance, we'll roll back Apple stock, right? And say that, hey, you got a chance to invest in Apple early. And they showed you, and we're going to say that we went from having no smartphones, and then they showed you this Apple and said, hey, take this for a year, see what it does and how it changes your life. At that point, price should never matter again, because it's literally, you can literally see that this phone is going to change the world. The price will follow. News is the only thing affecting the price at that point. It's the news and stuff like that. The fundamentals, the fact that this object they gave you is going to literally change your life, the price has to catch up with that. That's why I don't, price is important. We are investing, but at the end of the day, you have to be driven off of with the fundamentals of what these projects do. And the price always follows. It always follows. So
very unlikely.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Very unlikely. Let me look at you in the eyes as I say this. What if I told you the chart dictates the news? What would you say?
The chart dictates the news. Well, it's funny you say that. I think to a degree it does. Because especially, I would definitely say in the wild world of YouTube, when we're talking about, certainly with no, it's not even different. The stock market's the same way. There's a lot of manipulation. So and I was pointing this out the other day, I even see now, and it really hit me literally the other day, that I saw a pattern about to break out on the chart. And across my phone from one of the largest crypto channels out there.
Big boy, you can see it.
Boom! I said, man, and that's what I've been watching. BitBoy drop one, and
Oh,
boom,
that
it takes
guy,
off.
man, he nails it
Yeah,
every
he
time.
nailed it.
Guess
I
what
saw
he
it come
does? Guess
across.
what he uses? He admits that he uses token metrics.
Yes, he does. Yep,
No,
you're right. Yeah, because I saw it, and just if people don't know these patterns, it's a lot of triangle patterns and wedges. So they're gonna run out of time, and based on human behavior, you know if it's going to the upside or the downside. And I see it working its way out. It was on Thanksgiving actually, and then I see all I saw was KDA, BitBoy KDA come across my screen. I didn't even look at it. About 10 minutes later, I looked and it was up a couple dollars. And I said, man, if he didn't make that pattern break out.
Yeah, man, trust me. But that's actually, I believe that's on a smaller scale. I can predict how the bear market will end, like how the bear market will start.
Yeah.
I have an approximation of the timing, but
Yeah.
I know when we get to the top of the bull run, and I know the price expectation. Once we pass 120, we're going to have a dip. Then we're going to break 100%, like 100K Bitcoin. It's going to be around 120. Within one day, we might go from 120, or 1 or 2 days, we might go from 120 to 150. But I don't think we're passing 150 for this bull run, right?
I agree with you on that.
Around that time, watch a news drop that's going to like wreck
decimate the market.
And it's going to have to be with government and regulation. It's going to have to be with CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. It's going to have to be with the war with unstable coins and decentralized finance. It's going to be all that in CNBC.
Yep, absolutely. I agree with you. It's funny because as my channel grows, I'm always honestly thinking about those who, I talk to on the channel because of the fact they're trusting information that I give them. So I don't want to be the person who dips out of the market and they're left in. That would be just so. I've literally thought this in my head, like when it's and I do believe in taking profits on the way out, right? And I always tell them, some people are like, I'm holding forever. Well, I'm not. I'm wanting to make profit. Now, the thing is, if I take profit, a big percent of that will go right back into the market once we hit, the bottom. So that's my plan. So I still will remain in it. But I've literally thought about it like, hey, when I do a video, I got my suitcase there. I'm packing up to leave the market. You do what's good for you.
Exactly.
But I'm telling you, this is why I'm doing it. And hey, I might be wrong, but the profits I've made up to this point, it can double from here, and I'm perfectly fine. So I'm glad you said that because it will creep up on you. And honestly, I do plan to get to a certain. So I've worked these price levels where, hey, I'm good with it. I don't care if it does another 10x after that. I'm fine with that, and then I will go heavy back into it once the bull market, once the bear market gets here. That's just kind of my strategy. So. And just letting people know what I'm going to
jump very quickly on this question. Hey, you guys are active in the chat today. What's going on, guys? Well, thank you. Make sure you hit the like button, guys, as you come in. And shout out to Perry Unlikely. Go subscribe to the channel too. You just hit 5,000 subs today. So this is, guys, to us, this is a big YouTuber, man. This is a big YouTuber. so shout out to you. Shout out to you. Congrats on that. Peter Investor M. I always call you Peter M. Peter Investor M. Which sector of altcoins crypto market has the greatest upside from gaming, music, financial security, or Ethereum killer and others? So what are your quick thoughts on that? Very quickly.
Yeah, that's a good one. Man, they all got their. It's just so crazy. So here's the deal. ETH killers. To me, ETH killers. There really is no ETH killer. Honestly, they'll all, in my opinion, they'll all work together, right? They'll all work together. There's so much room for them. But if you can find the so-called ETH killer early on, you could make a fortune. Solana is a great example. If you can find a Solana,
I was just going to mention that.
Yeah, an Avalanche. And by the way, the one I'm looking at is it's not too late, but like KDA, Kadena is a good one still at this point. But even further down is Lambden. Lambden is a smaller one that's really small.
I haven't
That
heard that one before,
yeah,
man.
look up Lambden. That is one that it's
Wait, wait,
early
wait, wait, wait,
on,
wait, wait. No,
but
give it to me slowly. Give me, come on, come on, come on, come
yeah,
on.
I
Wait,
think
wait.
it's going to be a good one. If you can find those that do catch on, it's worth a small play.
Yeah.
Those can really do big things.
Wait. Come on, man. Come on. Give me a second. Give me a second. So what's the ticker? What's the ticker?
Oh, it's Lambden is man,
Wait,
I've
wait,
got
wait.
you know what? I think it's either TAU or TUA.
So wait, so you said Lambden, like LAM, like a lamb? Lamb?
Yeah. LAMDEN should be it.
Oh,
And
yeah, yeah. TAU, right?
yeah, TAU.
Oh, right.
That's a small one, but
Yeah.
if you can catch one like that
Mm.
and it takes off and these things really run. And by the way, it was up to at one point up to like 55 cents or something like that, which also brings another point up. When you see
15
something
cents.
like that that's been up to 55 cents,
Mm-hmm.
learn up on the news of it. That's like this. I'm already gonna, in my mind say it's gonna get back to 55 cents. That's an easy play for me. Unless
Yeah,
there's just some
especially if it's
crazy
not
news.
uncharted territory, then
Right.
when it was launched, it was up $1. So it has that potential. And then
Yes.
now it's a matter, all right. You know what? I'm going to do more research on it tonight, man. I'll
Yeah,
just
do
add
some.
blockchains for humans.
Yeah, do
It's a bit
some.
cheesy, but
Yeah, it is kind of cheesy. But and
okay.
also the fact it's built on Python makes it easy as far as coding. So there's a
Oh,
lot of good things that I like that kind of made it ease of use. So definitely check that
that
one
is
out.
true, eh?
That's a potential future ETH killer. I think
Yeah,
it's
let me tell you
American
why.
based.
We eat Taylor. I don't know, but let me tell you why this is a big deal actually, because like the built on Python,
Right.
because it's very hard to find coders and developers on the crypto world, and as you can see, the demand is rising. These guys are getting paid, man, well, upwards of six figures and above, and we can still can't find enough to build projects. So the fact that we're building it on Python. Python is a coding language that is mostly used in a software engineering. So there is a lot of resources available with people experienced with Python. So if they can code a language that is available in the market, that we already have the resource on the market, then it
Yes.
opens the door to like the entire world, like, basically of coders and software engineers, and it opens the door to a lot more resources that we have, and we can the more resources we have, guess what, the more value we can add on this ecosystem. So that is
Absolutely.
something I'm definitely, I don't know about Ethereum killer, like you said. There's
Yeah.
no
I don't.
Ethereum
I hate
killer.
to say an Ethereum killer, but I will put it in that genre. Basically,
Hmm.
any layer one is called an Ethereum killer at this point.
Yeah.
But they're not. I don't think anything's gonna kill Ethereum. But after that, I think
Yeah.
you have your higher market cap ones. Then you get down there like Lambden, and then after that, the gaming sector to me will be the
Mm-hmm.
over time is going to provide the largest gains.
Mm-hmm. The upside, right, as
Yeah,
you
the
was asking.
upside is just is massive if you can find those right ones. And we're at a space where I think it's important to realize right now, I could come up with, very unlikely virtual world,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if the quality's
I
there,
tried creating a crypto this summer. There is a drag and drop option on Binance, like Binance smart contracts.
oh really?
You can literally create a crypto on your own. I have a
Oh, for
friend who
real?
did that for a foundation. He has a foundation for kids. It's called it Toys
Oh,
Crypto.
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty clever marketing right there, man.
Yeah,
So,
you can create your own game, but what's important to remember at some point, and this would be where the war starts, is these game developers who have been around forever, they're going to rise up. They already are probably working behind the scenes already. So we're still at a point where everything's being redone on the blockchain, and gaming is just going to be a great opportunity. I think more things like Audius will come up where you have an opportunity to help, creators make money. Just like I think Audius helps actually people in the music industry make money. Anything like that is really going to be great. And then I think layer twos, which like Polygon started out as, coins like that, scaling, second layer scaling solutions, because scaling is always going to be somewhat of a problem. Those are really going to be good for making money over time. And then DeFi, anything DeFi.
Very quickly, I want to give a quick shout out to the
Absolutely.
Intentional Millionaire. Shout out to you,
Oh,
sir.
shout
Thank
out,
you for
man.
coming.
Shout out to Intentional Millionaire.
Hey, man, lately, man, you've been dropping some gems, some gold content, man. Shout out to you guys. If you haven't subscribed to the Intentional Millionaire yet, please do so. Shout out to you, sir, and loving your content, man. And the quality, the quality is like $1 million studio, sir. So keep at it. Keep at it. Shout out to you. And I see you guys are very active in the chats. Blind guy was saying congrats to you for reaching 5K. Shout out to you. Cashflow was saying, and that's and this Cash was saying he believes DeFi is the beginning of a financial war. For so many years, the system had a chance to steal our money legally. And man, it's going to be very interesting, man, to see how the centralized versus decentralized world just evolve, right? It's not just about the finance part; it's just the currency as a whole, right? The currency itself, there is the same fight. Before it used to be Bitcoin versus XRP. I was investing in both.
Absolutely.
So me, the way I see it, man, I got no dogs in the fight, man. You invest in both, man, and whichever the way the future the Apple land, you're good. That's the way I see it, right?
Absolutely.
And that's how the rich people do it. They don't vote Democrats, Republican. They don't care. Whoever gets on power, they make their money, right? So have that same perspective.
Absolutely.
Also, there's a point Natasha was bringing up, which is going to lead me to my next question to you, Perry. And how are we doing on time? It's still good?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Having fun so far?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But so far, you hit the like button, guys. He's dropping knowledge. Even me, I didn't heard about Lemden before. And man, I mean, once you start doing a lot of research, you kind of like getting an eye for potential good projects, right? So it won't take you much long to see something and to start putting it in your watch list. And something I noticed, it's not just that it's Python, as Natasha was mentioning earlier. Shout out to you, Natasha. But also look at the ranks, right? 9-12 in ranks.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
also
a sweet spot, man.
I'm telling you, not only that, it had an all-time high at launch at 27 cents. It has a spike at 51 cents, and now it's on drop. So it has the very least potential to reach to 25 cents. And something like this, once they start having, this would be on ecosystem, right? Ecosystems, they're going to invite others to join their ecosystem to create apps, right? They call it decentralized application on their system. The easiest way to think about it, guys, is think of Androids or Apple, right? iOS. That's the ecosystem. And then iOS has the App Store. The App Stores allows other developers who knows how to code Pythons or any C++ or Java or any coding language to create an apps, create a user interface with the backend. Then you use whatever app you want to use. And that in itself create an entire economy, right? So remember early 2009, 2010, when this concept was coming to market and how fast it took for them to have like over a million apps in the store. So it's the same concept. Think of Cardano as Android if you want. Think of Solana as Apple. Think of Cosmos, Lambden could be one. So there is so many operating system, and there is going to be so many apps you can develop on these that there is going to be a room for a lot of that. And who knows, right? Who knows? You may think that this market is going to be worth $10 billion, $10 trillion one day. It could be more. It could be less. Who knows? I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Do your research, but shout out to you. And I wanted to tackle this question is, another question, just a comment. Now hackers can try doing it illegally with DeFi. Have your hot and cold wallet in place. Absolutely. Make sure you secured. Financial security will always be necessary. But with that said, that's the leading to my next question, Perry. What would you say are the advantage and disadvantage of DeFi? And by the way, I think that's a great definition you had. It's trustless banking, trustless finance. This is definitely great definition right now for the newcomers here. But what are the advantage and disadvantage of DeFi?
Yeah. So one thing I think is, I think I'll start with disadvantages. I think the disadvantages are, although the traditional banking system is, basically a fossil at this point, you can trust if you don't understand it. You can understand less, and your money will be safer. I mean, for the most part, right? You put your money in the bank, and I know a lot is made over. Even with the lending, put 100 in there, they lend it out. The truth is, it's safe for the most part. I mean, the fact of it would have to be a run on the bank where some crisis happens and we all go to get our money for it not to be there. So we've only seen these things pop up a few times in centuries, literally. Whether it was the financial crisis with Lehman Brothers or whether it was the Great Depression. So the risk there. People in crypto like to make it seem like it happens every week, but it just doesn't. So honestly, even if you don't know that much about banking, you can go set up a bank account and you're going to be okay in terms of your money actually being safe. In crypto, you do have to learn how to transfer funds, about, just measures of safety. So I will say in DeFi, the learning gap is a little bit larger. And just as far as making sure products are audited and things like that, but the upside is just so much more advantageous, from a standpoint of, like I said, the fact you can, whether it's BlockFi or there's all kinds of different places, Celsius, where you can literally just go get 8-10% real easy in stable coins. It's just those benefits. And what I like about that is, things are coming so fast. There's so many opportunities constantly, even if it's staking, right? I mean, even when I look at how many Cardano I'm gaining, a month, it's just crazy. I mean, so even just looking at that, just from staking it. So just things like that, that's where I see the upside. And there's a whole lot of it. And what I like is, because I'm going to call it financial innovation. These exactly companies are literally fighting. The banks don't really even care anymore. These companies are fighting to outdo the other ones. At the same time, they're at the edge of like cutting edge, they're at the beginning of cutting edge technology. So there's always some new thing coming. It might be 12%, next month. You
what
just
are
never
you talking about, man. What is every time you say 8%, I'm like, are you serious?
I know friend? I try to be conservative, like I said.
Oh man, come on, man. No, let me give you my conservative number.
Yeah, there's definitely higher numbers there for sure. But
let me tell you this: do you do you have a crypto.com account?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
How much it is in your area for stable coins?
You know what? I haven't even used it for that.
Okay, man. Go check it out, my friend. Go check it out.
I will. Yeah. And I've had crypto.com for years now.
In my area, it's 12% for
oh man, that's coins. Crazy. I didn't even realize that.
You, man. Yeah. Yo, we're talking about like safe right now, right? Stable coins, it doesn't fluctuate. $1 is $1, regardless of what the market does, right? That's the definition of conservativeness. So, right?
Yeah.
If you're someone who's super conservative about stocks and cryptos, here's a strategy for you. Buy stable coins, stake them, which basically means you loan them to someone that's going to make it work for you, and they pay you an interest. And that interest is 12% for the year, guys. You get paid on a weekly basis. Okay. So
yeah. Well, something to realize is, a lot of people there's people that'll make $500,000, $1 million in this market. They'll take it, turn it to stable coins, and boom, they'll just pay themselves out $40,000 to $100,000 a year.
That's my
and just go and move on, do whatever every day.
I have two portfolios. One portfolio that I'll never sell. I'll just cash flowing. These are my cash flow portfolio.
Right.
I just collect the cash flow, and I might sell the cash flow, but not the principal.
Yeah.
That portfolio is just at this point that if I end up selling it, I'm going to have to declare too much tax. In my city where I'm at right now in Montreal, if I would sell it, I would have to pay 54% in taxes, right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Whew. Yeah. So that's just
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah. I'm
no,
with you on
hell
that.
no, I will never sell. I would rather see the market go down 80%
Yeah. Then sell it.
than
Absolutely.
selling it. But that's the way. But I have another portfolio that I have ready and to sell at the top of the market. And one of the things I'll be doing is, hey, put that money on stable coin, put it on crypto.com, for example. There's other platforms too that pays you, 12% on that money, and you can collect that, and that could be a week. At the end of the year, that could also be paying all your bills, right?
Yeah.
If it's big enough, right? So that's definitely a good point right here. So
Absolutely.
shout out to you for mentioning that. I see you guys are active in the chat. Thank you for being active in the chat, right? So I see many questions here. Let me see. There's a question that I saw that I wanted to. So I hope that gives you an idea of the questions you were asking or the
Hmm.
comments you had. And I agree with you, right? There is a big when it's so new like this, it's not regulated. There is definitely open door to many scams, many. Everyone's can start making a career on cryptos, but the upside is so much greater than the downside. You have these companies fighting to get your attention, right?
Right.
Whereas the banking system, they had the monopoly for 100 years, right? So they don't care about fighting for your consumer service because they know you're going to either go to them or to their family across
Right.
the
Yeah.
streets with a different name, right?
Absolutely.
So they
Absolutely.
don't care
100%.
wherever you go, right? Whereas the DeFi decentralized exchange, they really care. They give you the best rates. They work your money so that they can give you the best rates, and it's automatically on the blockchain. There is no you don't have to trust anyone. Trust the code, and once the code does exactly what it's supposed to do, this is one of the reasons why I was telling you guys sometimes fundamental research is not sometimes it's not enough. If you want to go to a risky market like that, you might want to start looking into code reviews. You may not be able to have the code reviews yourself, but there are platforms out there that can help you do that. And hey, I give you an example, token metrics. If you don't want to sign up for an account because it's expensive, jump on the Discord, guys. We'll be sharing information from this account for you. We got it for the people, guys. So shout out to the everyone who helped contribute to make this happen. So, see a very quick question. Don't discuss too much about this because we can talk a lot about that alone. But big time drums, Shiba or Doge, which one do you think is going to pass the mark? Quick thoughts on that. Unlikely.
Yeah. I'll tell you. I actually think it's going to be Shiba probably. Yeah, just from Shiba's is. I know that Doge is all the rage, obviously because of Elon Musk, but Shiba's actually doing more as a blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, I think that's what will help them. And me myself, and I had to change my mindset. I stayed away from meme coins forever, just because they don't traditionally have that much utility. But I did kind of come around and realize, well, utility or not, if something can make you 100x, you need to pay attention to it. So I would say I would probably say Shiba, but I still say Doge has some left in the tank, especially for this bull run. No doubt about it at all.
Yeah,
It's a lot of it's just driven by hype.
yeah, if we're talking about upside, I was definitely put Shiba. But man, guys, I'm telling you guys, there are informations out there, guys. There are information out there that once you know them, it will make you have a different perspective about many cryptocurrencies and your strategies to buy and hold or sell them, right? So that's all I gotta say, guys. Guys, that's all I gotta say. If you don't get my Discord, and I'm not trying to sell because hey, I had it for almost a year and a half. I never pushed it that much. I mean, I did push it, but not to the point that I'm pushing it now. It's because I believe that lifetime deal, right? You get one payment, you get a lifetime deal. If you were subscribed in my Patreon within 6 months, you would have covered the price that you would have paid had you taken the lifetime deal for one payment. All right. So that's why I'm saying this. And trust me, once you start seeing my secret sauce on how I come up with early investments and early potential and predictions on how high they can go, you'll have an entirely different perspective on how you design your portfolio, what you decide to do with them, whether it's Doge or Shiba, which one you decide to go. how much you decide to put on it. Information, when you are equipped with good informations,
It changes everything.
it changes everything. So all that to say, assume that you don't want to sign up to my Discord lifetime membership. Fine, do your research and read the codes, read the wallpapers, the white papers or the woof papers, and then do your own research and equip yourself with the best information. And I think that will give you the best decision for you, right? That's what matters at the most. Shout out to Peter Investor M. You can take a loan against your BTC, which is used as a collateral, collateralized loan. This is a novel idea, absolutely, and this is one of the exit strategies that the millionaires are doing as of now, because you don't have to tax, right? You don't have to tax debt, right? You don't tax debt, and that used to be one of the huge, big cases for real estate.
Yes.
When we talk about building wealth, we talk about, it's not about just making money. It's about keeping that money, right? And then you multiply that money. But you got to be good at keeping money, right? And real estate was used as a way to leverage that real estate, and then you live on the debt from the real estate, and then it appreciates over time. You use the debt for your income for the year. You don't pay any tax on it. That's one of the only assets that you used to have to get away with no tax. That's how Donald Trump is going away with no tax, because he's a real estate genius when it comes to that. There is Robert Kiyosaki, who make a book, who talks a lot about that. I bought one of his books, one of his friends' books that talks about that exact strategy on how to leverage real estate to pay no tax.
What's the guy's name? Is it Ken? I'm trying to think of his.
Don't worry. Let me pull it up, because I didn't start reading it yet. I'm going to start reading it in December. But this guy is Robert Kiyosaki's tax advisor. Is Tom Wheelwright?
Tom Wheelwright. Yeah, I was thinking Ken. Yeah, Tom Wheelwright. I've heard, and he's the tax advisor for a lot of well-to-do people. So I've heard his name a lot.
So they used to do this strategy, this exact strategy that you mentioned, Peter, Investor M, in real estate. But now with this new innovation, as Perry unlikely mentioned it, in the cryptocurrency market, yes, they would gladly take your BTC. Why? Because they know over time there is a limited supplies. BTC could reach $1 million. So if you don't pay your debt, man, they'll gladly accept your BTCs, man. There is only 21 million BTC that will ever be created. So they can never have enough of BTC. So they'll gladly give you the cash, right? They'll gladly give you the cash, the currencies that is losing value over time, to get something in return that is gaining value over time, despite the wild swings, right? So that's what they're doing. So they have no problem doing this. And if you're smart enough, you do this deal, you get the cash, you reinvest it in other appreciating assets that's going to grow at the same rate or higher than cryptocurrencies. Hey, man, you're rolling. You pay no tax, you keep money, and you multiply money. So great comment right there. Shout out to you for mentioning this. And again, thank you for being active on the chat, everyone. Thank you very much for this. All right, so let's jump on the next question that I have ready for you. Now, we talk a lot about DeFi. What is DeFi? The advantage, the disadvantage. But what would you say so far would be your some of your favorite decentralized projects? Whether it's DeFi, whether it's any decentralized project, what would you say some of your are your favorites?
Yeah, absolutely. I like Celsius. I like trying to think. So I'm big on decentralized exchanges just in general. I like those a lot. I like Aave. That's another one that did extremely well. I mean, man, I remember when that thing was sitting around like 50 cents, and then went all the way to like $400 or so. Just absolutely crazy gains. Maybe even like $500. Just I think it basically did like 1,000x. It's unbelievable. But
guys, if you, in case you don't know, the name inspired from Ave was from the song Ave Maria. The reason is because they knew that price was gonna load up, and then they knew that they wanted you to sing Ave Maria. Sorry, I'm just joking.
I love it, man.
Just joke. Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, but no, that's fine.
It went up like crazy.
Yeah, honestly, there's just so much opportunity in DeFi in general. But I like a lot of decentralized platforms, Dexes, things like that. Obviously, Uniswap has a place in my heart. They did an airdrop um, last September that where anyone who had used it, you got 400 tokens.
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
yeah, and I had used
I
it
was
in
one day late.
I used it in two different wallets. Man, I woke up that morning, my mind was blown. I tapped my wife. I woke her up. I was like, "Oh my goodness, this has to be a mistake." And then I started reading, and
So
it was like,
just very quickly for those who may not know what a airdrop is, how would you define an airdrop? What
yeah.
is
So an airdrop. Now, what an airdrop is basically, a lot of times, just for using certain protocols, even before they even have a token, they will airdrop you tokens. So as long as you have a specific type of wallet, whether it's an Ethereum wallet, any type of Solana wallet, they'll literally just drop tokens into your wallet for you. And you don't have to do anything to get them. Like I said, sometimes there's another airdrop. I thought about doing a video on a potential airdrop that's coming. MetaMask, which is an Ethereum wallet. Well, actually, you can start out as an Ethereum wallet. You can pretty much add any wallet onto it now. Polygon, all types of different blockchains. There's potential that they're going to come up with their own cryptocurrency. So for those who have used MetaMask, they're likely going to get airdrop some tokens. I will say that I'm pretty sure at the peak, those 400 tokens that they dropped, I want to say went on to be worth 16 grand. So we're not talking light money at all. So I think another one is
very quickly. I just wanna mention that very quickly. In case you guys didn't know, you use the platform, you get 400, let's say, the unit measure for Uniswap, right? You get
right.
400 of that cryptocurrencies. It's worth nothing in the beginning, but very quickly, within less than a year, we're talking about like $16,000 in your wallet. So had you not sell any of this crypto that you got for free just from using a platform, you would get $16,000, and you could have sold that. And man, that's a good profit right here, right? So,
Yes.
guys, when we were talking earlier about how these guys they fight to have your attention, they come up with so many ways to innovate to get you to get you to use the platforms. That's one of them. That's one of them right there. But very quickly, I wanted to mention when he talks about airdrops, there is a good side to it. If the project is well founded, if there is a use case for it, if the fundamentals are strong, absolutely. But some many scams out there, especially if you have Trust Wallet, you're going to understand exactly what I'm saying. You might wake up one day, you see a random cryptocurrency added in your wallet. That's an airdrop too. But the problem
Yes.
is they can be scammers looking to looking to
Yes.
find ways to know exactly which one has what are they doing. And the minute you sell it, they have access to your wallet, and then they sip everything else in it. So be careful, especially if we're talking about the DeFi world. It's even more wild than the regular crypto world. But with that said, guys, it all depends on your research, right? You gotta do your research. Join a community too. Join a community who's actively looking for things like that, and then you can exchange ideas so that you're aware and you don't put yourself in a situation where you get affected by that. Me personally, I have 99.6% of my wealth in cryptocurrencies. Right? I don't believe I believe in this diversification when you're a millionaire, when you're when you're in 8-9 figures.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Before you get there, I believe in staying focused in one thing, right? And then you leverage that as much as possible. To each their own. But so the reason why I'm so comfortable with putting all my weight in cryptocurrencies is because I've done my research, guys. I've done my research. I've tried many things. I know what I'm comfortable with. I've stayed within my range of comfort. But sorry, you were mentioning that
No,
there is
yeah, I
something
was going
else
to
you wanted.
say, and there is one that's coming up now. I probably have to do a video because some of these, it's ZK Sync, which is a second layer solution Now, there's a very good chance that they have an airdrop that's going to come up. But here's the deal. If you've not already been, basically what it does, you're able to take Ethereum because it's extremely expensive, move it over
Mhm.
to a second layer, and then you can swap out tokens on this second layer for basically almost free.
Is the symbol ZK swap?
It's yeah. So you'll ZK swap, and there's ZK sync, and then it has a wallet with it, and you do ZK swaps. Yes,
So wait,
and
a
see they don't have
ZK
a token
sync,
yet though.
like
Yeah,
CSYNC.
yeah, it's ZK sync sync.io,
Okay, okay, okay,
and
okay.
then you attach it to your MetaMask, and when you go in there, there is a little bit of a cost up front just to move some Ethereum onto it. But once you do that, my understanding is if you basically use it, there's a good chance at some point this year or early next year that you'll
Mm-hmm.
receive tokens. So I went ahead and did it because I didn't care if it cost me $50. I don't want to miss out on the opportunity. And because it's a little bit more difficult than like the MetaMask one,
Mm-hmm.
I would say less people will do it, meaning that you're likely to receive more tokens. And that's a good opportunity. So I dig in to find out what's the next possible airdrop coming. So ZK Sync may be one, but it may, like I said, it may take a video to show people. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it may take a video, and I went in and did it. It's not very hard, but for someone that doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
have an understanding of it, it could be a little difficult, but it certainly is worth it in the end. I mean, you imagine they come out with their token, which I believe they will, to get those from the start, and then realize also, like you just mentioned, it may start out small, but once those hit the exchange
Mm-hmm.
and people have to have those tokens, think about it. Ethereum is so expensive to use. Imagine this starts to be used and people have to have those tokens, but it'll save them a fortune in gas fees. It's gonna explode. So
Yeah, right now, guys, this is where the competition is heading because there's a lot of projects that are even looking into switching from Ethereum to other platforms, like Aave, like Solana, for example, Polkadot.
right.
It's because they're making it very easy for them to switch from Ethereum to other platforms, and then the fees. Whenever you try to use their platform, the fees are so much lower. It may not look much for you, but when we're talking about billion transactions per day, and at some point it's going to be $1 billion per second, right?
Right.
So them fees was going to add up crazy, and also
Absolutely.
Ethereum is slower. This is something I was showing you earlier in the report. Infinity Games, we were looking at that earlier. He was comparing the speed of Ethereum with anything else. So if you're watching that, if you came on late, you can watch that from the beginning. I talked about token metrics, but yeah, that's the advantage. Once you understand the problems and which companies are trying to solve it, then you can place yourself in a position where, hey, something like this, it may not be something you want to put a large portion, but you might want to put something small and then see how it goes. And if it's on the right, if the ducks are lining up, you want every once in a while you're gonna have a huge spike, and that could be the profit that you were looking for.
Absolutely. Yeah, I literally moved, I think, 50 to $75 over onto the second layer just to do a couple transactions. So if they do have an airdrop, I'm not missing out on that. So absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, well, thank you
Oh, absolutely.
for dropping this. Dropping gems, guys. Hit the like button. Go subscribe to his channel in case he makes that video, so that you can, if you want to learn more about what this crypto does and how to onboard and to it, and maybe enjoy the airdrops too when it's dropped. And again, once you do the airdrop, it's not necessarily any money that you put in; it's free money. And then if they do well, your money, airdrops, free coins will do well as well. But as being part of being an early investor, that helps them test their nets, make sure that everything works well. And that's where the incentive is for them. For them, it's more valuable to have the users who's actually doing the interaction, and they'll give you the coins. And once they've done all the tests, they're going to launch on the decentralized finances and exchange. And yes, that's when everyone else will be able to buy it. That will get the coins to raise in value and all that. So one of the things that is very hot in decentralized finance right now is also, and remember we're talking about ecosystems, right? We're talking about ecosystems, and then every one of these ecosystems, the first thing they want to do, it's their app store, right? Think of it, iOS would be the ecosystem. First thing you would want to do is the app store, correct? And then it's okay, you can turn off your camera if you need to.
All right, no,
But
you're good.
yeah, and then yes, they do the app store, and then once the app store is done, then they do a lot of they go do a lot of projects, right? And that allows them to, this is where you're going to have your calculator, you're going to have your gyms apps, your budget apps, you're going to have a bunch of different apps, right? So the first thing that an ecosystem wants to do on their platform is a decentralized exchange, right? We even had a buzz word going on in the cryptocurrencies to describe that, and it's called IDO, Initial Decentralized Exchange Offering, and this has been going hot. One of a very good example is Ethereum is the ecosystem where many cryptocurrencies are creating their tokens, their projects. And then one of the things that they were doing is once they were mature enough, they created Uniswap, right? Uniswap was the decentralized exchange to exchange those tokens, those cryptocurrencies. And the huge advantage, we're talking about advantage of that, is one of the huge advantage of a DeFi, decentralized exchange, is you don't need to put any of your personal information. You have your wallet. The blockchains understand that this is a wallet that is validated on the blockchain. It accepts your tokens, and then someone else has another token that you want to have. So you basically say, "Hey, here's the swap happens." And it's validated on the blockchains. It happens. You don't need to provide any of your personal information, and that's one of the reasons. Shout out to Cashflow Hunter. He was mentioning out there, it's starting a war with traditional finance because government doesn't like this. They can't track. It's not easy for them to track what's going on, and then that's going to cut on their revenue sources because they charge you per transaction, especially if you make capital gains. So it's going to be interesting. So we'll also look at decentralized exchange within a new ecosystem. Once you see an ecosystem is booming, it's raising in prices. The next thing that's going to boom after that is those decentralized exchange. And from that perspective, one of the questions I had for you, Perry Unlikely, is what do you think of Sunday Swap right now? What can you tell us about Sunday Swap?
Man,
We're Sunday right now, and we're almost done, by the way. So
yes,
we're Sunday right now. So let's swap something.
Sunday Swap is honestly, I've done I've done more videos on Sunday Swap than probably almost any other specific project on my channel, other than maybe VeChain, but probably even that's probably second to it. And there's a reason for that. Like you mentioned Uniswap. So I saw the shift in what Uniswap did for Ethereum. Whenever you have, so we talked about DeFi earlier. Uniswap really is, I guess, the bedrock of DeFi for Ethereum. A lot of tokens, right, that used to have to, it's really hard to get your tokens listed on centralized exchanges because of regulations, all kinds of reasons. But a lot of these projects are able to just go on and launch on Uniswap. Now, there's a lot of trash on there as well. I mean, so this always goes back to, you have to be careful. Anybody can throw a coin on there. But with research, there's legitimate projects on there. So the reason that this is such a big deal, Sunday Swap is basically the Uniswap of Cardano. And Cardano is at a place right now, they really need a decentralized exchange that can really take over and really get the number of transactions up. It's gonna, you offer, you can do liquidity. You can provide liquidity. That's another way to gain tokens, token rewards in ADA, which is their native coin. So it's just going to be such a big deal. And honestly, I can't think of, there's yield farming. It goes back to just all kinds of ways of making more gains. And honestly, I can't think in recent day of a project with this much. I mean, it's been like they have 214,000. They have 214,000 followers on Twitter. I did a video today that I think I posted around. I think I posted somewhere around maybe 12, and it's already got 1,000 views. It's just massive. People just are really interested in it, and I just it's an important project, and I just think it's going to explode. It's going to absolutely explode. So I've really been paying attention to that, and for me, just remembering that hype around Uniswap, I'm excited to see because Cardano's been so long awaited.
Exactly, man.
I'm excited to see, what it does for Cardano.
That's the thing, right? There's a lot of new projects. Solana, for example. Solana happened like what was it, 2019, basically?
Right, yeah, 19.
All of a sudden, they already matured to the point where they can embark other people in their ecosystem. So they haven't really built that time in the crypto industries. But Cardano has been one of those OGs.
Yes.
One of those OGs before the 2017 bear market, where a lot of these projects became popular. They were already there, and then the one of the founders of Cardano is also a founder in Ethereum.
Yep. Charles Hoskins.
Ethereum is, the big dog. It's kind of like Bitcoin is the big dog for all cryptocurrencies, and Ethereum is the big dog for all altcoins, right? So
yes.
That's the ranking right there. So you have the co-founder of Ethereum found that there is a problems with speed. There is a problem with the fees. He goes out there and create Cardano and try to mix it and solve a problem called interoperability. It's the aspects of having one ecosystem talking with another. Just think of it that way. If you have Facebook as an entire ecosystem, and then you have Google as an entire ecosystem, what if you can have anything you do on Facebook link very well on all levels, communications and payment with YouTube and Facebook? That would be a perfect example of to understand what interoperability would be like. Right. And for us to scale in a cryptocurrency world, the next frontier is to solving this issue, having one ecosystem talking with another ecosystem. And guess what's going to happen once we do that? It's going to be one metaverse talking to another metaverse, and you're going to have many universes, and then at some point you're going to have one to rule them all, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, but not to go too divert on that, I definitely agree with your point, and to give you also a comparison about one point you mentioned, that it's very hard for cryptos to reach centralized exchanges. It's, think of it as the stock market, guys. Think of what it takes that to go IPO, right?
Oh yeah, a lot of stuff, regulations and everything.
Many years, you have to be on a certain level. You have to have a certain level of income, a certain level of employees, a certain level of reliability, because people have their retirement fund out there, and they don't even have controls on where they decide to invest. So if they're going to list your company in public and a financial institution might invest in it, they need to have a certain level of criteria that you meet for our peoples to have enough trust to put their retirement fund on you. So that's why it's so regulated, guys.
Right.
But it can take many years, and there's many projects that are very good, but they don't have the funding that way. They can access that type of funding to build their projects. So an alternative to that is SPACs, right? SPACs is kind of like a loophole. You create a company that you can list on a very risky exchange, but hey, that company is not producing anything. But at least if people are enjoying the hype, they invest in it, and that money is taken to go invest and develop that projects, right? So in decentralized finance, that's what a lot of projects are doing, because it's so easy, so hard to go on regular centralized exchange, which is still easier than what it would be for a stock. But these projects, they go on decentralized exchange. They go, like, think of it as SafeMoon, for example. SafeMoon was available on PancakeSwap, which is the Uniswap version of Binance ecosystem, right?
Right.
So that's what that, and SafeMoon was there. A lot of hype, lots of money was thrown in it, and they took that money and then they released a wallet. They release the product out there. They're pleasing that community that believe in them, and so on. Right? Shiba was listed early on Uniswap. It boomed. He had one first peak, and then he had a second giant peak, and then it break an all-time high. So again, this is how these projects fund themselves so that they can build their ecosystem and create the value that they promise they will create, right? So that's just a different perspective to understand the stock world and the crypto world.
Something I want to add to that, a lot of people get into crypto, they're on Coinbase. Shout out to that because you're involved. But what you got to understand is if you're on Coinbase, I've already had that coin before it even got there. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. I was holding it long. And see, I'm catching that pump of when you got a chance to get to it. So that's another reason. Many of these coins start out on a decentralized exchange. And like, for example, Lambda, right? I'll give you two different levels. Lambda is one that's, I think right now is probably only on Uniswap right now, maybe Gate.io, maybe. Mm-hmm. So these smaller exchanges. Now, then it'll go to a bigger one. Then by the time it gets to like Coinbase, mm-hmm. boom, I'm already holding it. And it's still good to get into it, but think about the advantage of that, right? So that's mm-hmm. another reason. And then you got like a kind of a bigger market cap like Cadena, which I know is on like a KuCoin and some of these other ones, but Coinbase and these bigger exchanges are such a big deal for it, but they're able to get exposure before they get there. Mm. That's why, these centralized exchanges, it does take time, especially if you get one that's operating in America, because America, frankly, has just the strictest laws. A lot of them are just nonsense, but ultimately, they have certain laws where they're trying to protect people, but then you can go buy a lottery ticket and get crushed any day of the week. So it's crazy. You can't buy crypto, but you can go buy a lottery ticket any day of the week. So it's just how it is. But that's just something I wanted to point out, though.
That's a great point right here. And let me give you an idea about, and just to add a little bit more on that, because these are great points right here. There is many level to this game, guys. There is many level to this game. So let me give you a quick example what you were saying. So we're looking at Lemden right now. It's a symbol TAU. You mentioned that earlier. So if you go on coinmarketcap.com, there is a section called market. You can type any crypto that you're looking for, and then you're going to have the website. You're going to have more white papers and more information. This is definitely the first way you should start your researches. Well, it tells you which market that it's available, right? So it tells you, hey, PancakeSwap is the first one. This is the one with probably the highest volume, or one of the two. And then you can go get it in these exchanges as well, right? And it tells you kind of like the confidence level of these exchanges. So PancakeSwap is a decentralized finance, decentralized exchange, right, of the Binance platform, the Binance ecosystem, right? So the thing is, if these projects become successful, they're going to be listed in more and more and more projects and more ecosystems. It could be Coinbase, it could be Binance, it could be KuCoins, it could be all of the above plus more, right? And I'll give you a perfect example of that. Shiba Inu. I'm talking about like March, guys. If you wanted to buy Shiba, the only way you really could have done it is via their exchange, like Uniswap. You would have done it via Uniswap. It was one of the first run in March where you could get Shiba. And the next thing you know, they had a giant pump and they started being listed in a bunch of places, including Binance, Coinbase Exchange. And the more exchanges that they're being listed to, the more it is accessible to millions and millions of people, right? Especially the traditional coin exchanges like Coinbase, for example. These are very early on. They're well known. They're already listed in the stock market. So there is a lot of trust in this market, right? Binance too. Binance has been there for a while. KuCoin's been there for a while. Gate.io is upcoming, doing very good. So they're being listed Gemini, right? They're doing everything they can to be They're doing everything they can so that they can please the governments in terms of what the government is asking, and there are U.S. exchange, centralized exchange, right? So the more now the first page alone is already showing you 26 different exchanges you could get Shiba. But there used to be a time only it was just like this, right? It was just like this. Barely any exchanges was offering it, and not many people even heard about it. Like I'm in
Yep.
crypto, and I'm learning about Lemden today, right? So there is many level to these things, and the earlier you are in a project, sorry guys, let me look at you in the eyes as I said this. The earlier about cryptocurrency, guys, it's all about timing. It is like that for any type of investment, business, real estate, stocks. But when it comes to crypto, guys, especially with crypto, guys, timing is everything. And there is
Yep.
many level to this game, many level to this game. Let me tell you the level very quickly, and I'm going to pass it along to Perry Unlikely. Levels are pre-sale, right? Before the coin is just an idea. They have one pager on the website. They want to promote to see if there is enough interest in it. So they're doing a pre-sale. If you really believe in this project, put some money in, get the cryptos at a very low cost, right? What they do with this money is they take that money and they go actually create that projects. Then they may have several levels, just like a company would have the seed capital raising fund. They have round A, right? B, and then they go on the stock exchange as a IPO. It's the same way on the cryptocurrencies. You have the pre-sale, then you have maybe another sell, and then they raise the price of the coin. It's not going to be the same price as the pre-sale anymore. It's going to be higher. Then you may have another third sell, or some of them might decide to go straight on a decentralized exchange and so on. But once it gets listed into a decentralized exchange, there will be an initial proposal offering or initial coin offering, right? Which will be a lot higher than the pre-sale level. And in many times, I shout out to Andy Pierre. He's on my Discord group right now. This guy is our specialist of on finding pre-sale cryptocurrencies, right? That's what he does. That's how he funds his long-term portfolios. He finds pre-sale cryptocurrencies, put like $300, $500 into them, and when they're listed in big exchanges, it can go up to 100x, right?
Yep.
Day one, it's listed on the exchange. Day one, 100x.
Yep.
Just from holding it earlier, and you put only $300 on it, right? And then he takes that money to buy the long-term cryptocurrencies. So shout out to Andy Pierre. He always shares. He even had a free tutorial on how to find IDOs, how to get on board, like best techniques to do. And now we have Tokenmetry that can help us do with that as well. So man, the Discord is going nuts, man.
Nice.
So but all that to say, these are the level, guys. The earlier you are in the game, the more upside you have, right? Especially if you find a great project with great potentials in the pre-sale or in the early stages before it gets listed on big exchanges like you mentioned, the centralized ones, man. Remember, there are millions and millions of investors that are in the centralized ones. So the fact that you can get there early and then it's launched and they believe at $1 or at 10 cents, it's a bargain, right? They believe it's a bargain,
right?
But you got it at 0.0001. Anyway,
absolutely, yeah, 100%. I think I like how you laid that out. Yeah, the earlier you get in, and typically take some of that. I mean, I like to take some of that. You can get gains up front, put a little bit, as they call it, moon bags. Just leave some moon bags and see what it does. I mean, think about it. I've done really well in Cardano, not sold any of it. I truly know that if I were to leave Cardano over time, I mean, it's millions. It's turning millions, but you don't have to wait. Take some out, leave the rest, and see what it does. So so I play the market cycle. I'm playing it for the short term. And then some of it I'm playing for the long term. So I've got kind of a mixed way of doing it. Ultimately, though, it all goes back to that long-term wealth is what it ultimately goes back to, though. So I'm doing a little bit of short term, but most of it's all about the long term over the next 10 years or whatever for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely next 10 years for me as well. There are some cryptos that I'm holding. I'm literally holding from 10 years. Like I don't want to do
Absolutely.
anything. Some of them are in my cash flow portfolio. Just
Right.
stake them, just finding ways to stake them and then hold them 10 years, man. Whether the market goes up and down. There's many people, man. They just did that, and within 2 years alone, they got to the $1 million status without selling anything, right? So
yes,
very good.
I got a guy that says don't date them, just trade them. He says don't get, and I agree with him.
Is that Chris from Crypto Revolution?
Yeah, yes, I agree with him.
Did you sign up to his thing?
Yeah, I've been in his group for years. Actually, for years. Yeah.
You mean the Telegram?
Yeah. I've been in his group for years. And,
yeah. Me too. Actually, I mean, I don't want to. One of the things that we do is I'm in Discord.
Yeah,
and then we spread the love with the community out there. We spread the love with the community.
He's good, man. He's good. I like it because if you are trading, and that's what I do. A part of mine's for trading, and the other part, I just hold on to. But that's what I love about it is, you can get really passionate about a certain coin and not know how to let it go. And I remember and it's been a while, obviously now, but I remember when I had Bitcoin, I took a half of Bitcoin, moved it into Ethereum. And it was hard for me to work out in my head to do that. But looking today now, right, what's a half of Bitcoin worth today versus at the time I did it, I can tell you exactly what it did. It either got me 10 or 12 Ethereum. So you can think, what's a half of Bitcoin to 10 or 12 Ethereum today? Yeah. I mean, it's just by not getting attached and knowing that on a percentage wise, regardless of how good Bitcoin is, I knew that I could take that and turn around and be able to buy a whole Bitcoin at some point. So that's the way I was,
I had to do a lot of that with my XRPs. I had a giant, I was never in Bitcoin. I mean, I was, you buy Bitcoin here and there, but I was never like creating a bag,
I'm the same way. I like Bitcoin, and ultimately I will have a nice bag of it. But I realize in alts, I can create that to go get whatever Bitcoin I want to.
Of course, and then so I had to do that with my XRPs, man. XRPs, I had to. I was in love with XRP, man. It was my first love. It was my first love, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you noticed, there is a large XRP community.
Yes.
Shout out to the Bearable Bull.
Yes, absolutely.
Man,
absolutely.
this guy is genius, man. Genius content creator. But man, I was part of that community very early on, 2016, 17,
nice.
18, man. I was writing that XRP, ride or die XRP. But that's what I'm saying. But when you fall in love with the cryptocurrency, you miss a lot of opportunities out there. But when you understand the timing, when to get in, when to get out, and also, you do that as it's going up long term, right? Like XRP now versus XRP a year ago, it's not the same price, right?
Yeah. And
I'm sure a year from now, it's not going to be the same price. On a long term, it's going to go higher, right?
And people will tear you up over that too, because I did a video about XRP. Look, the only point I was making was this. And I've been wrong on certain calls.
Of course, man.
The point I was making was this. With their legal troubles, it didn't make sense for me. I said, not knowing what's on the horizon with their legal troubles, I can take my money and deploy it to other stuff until they work this out. But people were just like,
XRP. I still want a bag.
Yeah.
While this is happening, I'm watching, I'm having them eyes. I know how it's going to end. I know it's going to end in favor of XRP.
Oh, they're going to write a check.
Meaning that my cash needs to write this right too. I can put things like that in the gaming, the metaverse projects. Last week, every day I'm out in my short term swing trading portfolio. Every day I made $1,000 every single day for 7 days straight. I made $1,000 trading the metaverse cryptocurrency. So that's more money. If I put it in XRP, it would have been stable. You would have dropped a little bit, so that's the thing. And then you can, if I wanted to, I could put that money back into XRP.
And that's what I'll do when I find out the news. I'll jump right back into it.
Of course,
Absolutely.
of course, of course. I wanted to mention, address this very quickly. Blind guy. Oh, well, thank you for joining the Discord. Thanks, Perry, for always dropping knowledge. I'm in your Discord, Wealth Engineering, but I think it's the basic. Yeah, it's probably the basic. The basic is free, guys. So at the very least, guys, join the free Discord. Even guys, there is tons and tons and tons of video on YouTube. And sometimes you may have an overload of information. You may have different conflicting of information coming here and there. So I try to find some of the best content creators and share what you need to know, and share like the market updates from token metrics, for example, some of the videos from crypto revolutions. I would share that with your Sunday swap videos. When you start talking about that and how to get on it,
Yeah.
that's not something I see online very much, because it's a very new cryptocurrencies.
Right.
And
Correct.
I know I agree with you, son. The first coins that blows up is the coins from an ecosystem. And
Yes.
out of many ecosystem, I could put Cardano second behind Ethereum in
Yep.
terms of how long they've been in this community, how much popular they are, and once they create, we can agree, we can argue, Binance could be second because they already have theirs. Fine,
Right.
I'll accept that. So Ethereum, Binance, and then Cardano is right after. So you've
Yes.
seen what PancakeSwap did. You've seen what PancakeSwap is for Binance. Uniswap is for Ethereum. You've seen what Uniswap did. As you mentioned, had you left that airdrop alone, not even put any money in,
Yeah.
airdrop alone at its peak, that was what,
Yeah.
$17,000.
16 or 17,000. Yes. Yep.
So that's crazy. So Cardano has the same potential or very close to it, and that's why Pancake or Sunday Swap is something that you should consider at the very least. Do your own research. This is not financial advice,
Well,
and this is
and
for entertainment purpose only.
also think about all those new coins, right? That come over to it. All there's Sunday Swap, and then there's just all these new coins that come onto it. The same way as like with Binance Smart Chain, right when that kicked off, whether it was Berry Swap or Bakery Swap or Burgers, it's hard even. There's so many. They name these things after food. It's crazy, but
Yeah,
just so much opportunity will
oh
come
man, I
for
fall
from
for
it.
lava cake swap. Man, that was a scam, man.
Yeah.
They give. I was doing yield farming with them. They give some of the most outrageous APR,
Yeah.
and then man, you couldn't sell any of it until a week later. And then that week later, the founders just took all that money and went out.
Squid Game wrecked some people.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
but anyway, man. Hey, that's how you learn, man. You
You
gotta
live, you
try
learn.
some.
Absolutely.
And then when you find a good, you stick with it. So, well, thank you for sharing that. But so, basically, you, as you mentioned, you're going to make a video about that. So, in a nutshell, very quickly, how do you prepare to buy a Sunday swap, basically?
Yeah. So one thing is, you got to really stay up to date, and also always a good on any project. Usually Twitter, which is crazy. Twitter's information is really good, especially in the crypto space, because they're always updating it, and that's just the way that we communicate now. Obviously, Twitter, Telegram, Discord, these are great places to get in, find out information, what's going on. You can ask questions, and also with Sunday Swap, right now I'm looking at whether I use, there's certain wallets you got to use. So whether I use Yoroi or the Nami wallet, I'm actually looking right now to and what's funny, I actually have, I have a nice size bag of Cardano, but I'm even looking at just buying some more Cardano just because I always keep some on the sidelines. So because it's been down, it's a good time to buy anyway. So I'm actually
Exactly,
going to go
because
ahead and buy some
what you're going to
Cardano.
need in that ecosystem, the base currency is going to be Cardano ADA, right?
Right,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So I'm going ahead and getting my bags ready for it. And the minute they say the launch is here, I'm working on my strategy. And I do plan to buy in a little bit right off the jump, and then to sit back and kind of see what happens. Because a lot of times on these decentralized exchanges, I mean, it can shoot up 30x, 100x like that, and then drop back. So there is a little bit of strategy to it. But I will say, get out of the mindset. This is just me personally. I had to get out of the mindset of if something goes to 100x, oh, it's going to 200x. Nah, I'm taking it, and I'm pulling it. That's just how I am.
I had 200x this year, and I've learned my lesson both ways. I mean, I still collect some profit. My brother, sorry, I should have said I've learned from my brother.
Yeah.
I told you guys, but if one day, I strongly recommend you before December 31st to jump in on the exclusive Discord, the OG members, right? Strongly recommend you, right? But one, you will understand how we got in Shiba in March. Me and my brother and I, and then we had another group that we do that, right? March. We knew that it was going to blow up 1000x. What I couldn't time was exactly when in the year that it was going to do it. But we knew that it was going to blow up, right? So my brother put like $3,000 on it, on Shiba. Me, I wanted to put about 1,000, but I waited 3 weeks to make my decision because at the time I still had the mentality about the meme coins. I'm like, it's a meme coin, it's not providing any value, whatever, right? So I waited 3 weeks to do my research, to sleep on it before I invest on it. That 3 weeks cost me $400,000.
Yep, it's time. It's all time.
It's all about timing.
It's all about time.
If I had put that same amount of money that I put it on Shiba 3 weeks earlier, just like at the same time as my brother, I would have got out with instead of $40,000, I would have got with $400,000.
Yeah,
I made a video about that. I'm like, and that's a lesson learned right there. So, but man, my brother's portfolio, man, he almost hit the million in one gamble coin.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He made the cryptocurrency. He made that crypto money in the long-term portfolio. He took a little bit of profit, and then he had gamble money. Meme coin was blowing up. That was the narrative. That was the trend. He identified the trend. He identified the narrative, and then we also had another way to discuss this to find that before the trend started.
Right. Yeah.
Again, I don't know if you're going to believe in it or not, but trust me, man. Trust me. There is a science to it. Even if it's not science. And then, yeah, man, we knew about it. He put that money in, and he almost hit the million. But guess what he did? He didn't sell. He didn't sell half of it. He sold a little bit just to pay his debt. At least he got out of debt. You know, nice. And then the Shiba went up again, so he made that money again. But it's just that, can you imagine if he had sell it the first time, buy it at the dip, redo it again?
Man, sounds like Pro the Doge.
What?
Pro the Doge. He's big on Dogecoin. He literally took, I forget, up to like a couple million and wrote it up and wrote it back down. I don't know how much he has now, but it's crazy.
Oh, man. So so man, I'm looking at this. I mean, I've done the same thing too. I took some profit because, man, I'm staking my Shiba. I'm doing yield farming. I love doing that. Yeah. So I don't think I had to transition Shiba as one of my long-term portfolios because I do yield farming. I do staking with it. So, it's
absolutely.
Cool, it's cool. And I have different bags. So some bags I'll sell, another bag I'll keep. But man, it was like I've learned that very hard, man. I'm like, man, it's that
it hurts,
been a beautiful play. And you always know, like when you look at the chart, you know when it's going to drop, right?
Yeah.
You see it it oversell, like it's overbought. All the indicators are telling you, man, it's way overpriced for this time, so you know when to sell. But anyway, guys, we learn our lesson. We learn our lesson.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I agree with you there. But let me ask you this, and we're almost done there. But so what? I know you're in real estate. I know we talk about DeFi and all the innovation in DeFi. And how do you envision a world where cryptocurrencies, DeFi, and real estate mix together, right? How would you envision that?
Ultimately, I think the way that smartphones are embedded in everything we do, crypto is going to be a part of everything. As much, if not more, than a smartphone on an everyday basis, we'll be using crypto in some way. And there'll be a lot of it we're using you don't even really know about it. Because it's a ledger, and it records, transactions and what happens. It's going to be used for that in the background. It's going to kind of run in the background of society. But at the same time, these protocols for insurance mechanisms, I mean, it's really going to touch everything. Supply chain tracking, such as like VeChain. I really think it's going to basically take over. And at some point, whether by design or not, you're going to be forced into. I don't think it's one of these things where, with cell phones, you still had people carrying around, the Motorola flip phone while everybody else had moved into like these big, smartphones. I don't think society's going to let people do that with crypto, because even the governments understand we have to keep up. I mean, at this point, you have to keep up with everyone else. So by force, everyone will at some point have to, they'll have to pretty much bow to crypto, and it's going to be a part of everybody's everyday life in every aspect. Even with real estate, they're talking about, with real estate right now, there's talks of literally doing transactions where, like right now, you go through a bank to do escrow. Well, the escrow is in a smart contract. And whenever you execute these things, it releases the funds, and then the deed is put on the blockchain. It's going to be a part of everything.
Like it's a 1+1. It has to go there. Like there, we're already doing it. Like, but think about it, how it's going to affect the industry though. Like you have the notaries, you have like real estate brokers, the even law as lawyer, like. The blockchain could affect a lot of their business, but
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It can. It really can. So yeah, I do see it being a part of everyday life, no doubt, and everyday life for everyone. And even think about the metaverse. I mean, the metaverse will overtake, and there's a reason why Facebook, is changing their name to Meta.
Yeah.
So even in that aspect, it will overtake your social media in some aspects. So,
first of all, 2 questions very quickly. Do you think that will happen in this decade where we're living and they do day-to-day with cryptocurrencies and real estate like that? And also, are you considering to be the first realtor in the metaverse?
Yeah. Hey, now that you say that, maybe I need to get on my game and become the first realtor in the metaverse.
I don't know if there is already one because man, there are some lands that are selling for 2.5 million on Mana right now.
Yeah,
and then crazy. Man, maybe you could be the first black one, man.
Yes, exactly. I start where I can. Absolutely.
Whatever you have to do to claim that first title, and
exactly.
then create an NFT of that, and then be like, hey, here's the NFT of the first black realtor. Put that on
exactly.
Put that NFT on your land right there on Decentraland. And then,
I do think I do think within this decade. I mean, it's perfect enough that we're sitting here in 2021. By 2030, by 2030,
I have the same timeline.
Everything's gonna have moved over, and even with our cell phones, right? I mean, because there's so many things we haven't even thought of yet that are, I saw something this morning, and it was a design for, it's a patent. It hasn't come out yet. It's the first cell phone with a drone in it. So imagine, like I've got an iPhone. Imagine there's a little thing, the actual camera part pops out, and you can fly it around for drone footage. Like, it's just stuff like that we haven't even thought of, that there's so much, and everything that we see right now in the physical world will basically be redone over and somehow linked to cryptocurrency.
Drone smartphone.
And it's just like you just pop out the top. And I saw it in a YouTube video, and it just slides out, and you can fly it like a drone, and then you can slide it back in as your regular camera. It's like actually part of the it's the camera portion, but it pops out and you can fly it around. It's just yeah. It's
Was
like
it
a square part
Marcus
that would be in your
Brownlee?
normal camera.
Was it
Yeah.
Marcus Brownlee that I saw that was doing a video about that?
Maybe so. Yeah, I didn't see his, but I did see one. I was like, this is absolutely nuts. So
Yeah. It's like a little cube, black cube.
yeah, it's a
with
little
the-
black cube. It's got 4 little fans, like to the propellers on it. So it's absolutely crazy. So I just see a world where yeah, it's embedded in everything.
Can you
Everything
imagine
we do.
now if you have light feed, you feed that in the metaverse?
Yeah.
And man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, apply for that realtor, but maybe you can be the school. You can start a school on how to be a realtor on the metaverse, man.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what the future
I'm
is
trying
heading.
to figure out how to be the first YouTube channel in the metaverse. I don't even know how that works, right?
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Man, I'm sure I'll find a first somewhere, man.
Right. Absolutely.
But anyway, guys, if you have any questions for Perry Unlikely, please type them on the chat. I'll be looking into them. So I see a question here.
Okay.
I'll address this very quickly. A shout out to you, Natasha. Request a video with your brother. This guy is not like me in terms of he actually doesn't want me to talk about it, guys. He's just that, man. I mean, come on, man. What's one? People can learn from your experience, my friend. I gotta do something, but yeah, he's shy about mentioning all that. Yeah. But let's just say, hey, Friday, he actually quit his job, right? He paid all his debt, quit his job, and he's going to focus more on cryptocurrencies. But man, he did good. He did good this year. I'm very proud of him, man. My first student in my course. So I'm very proud of him. So I wanted to address this. Peter Investor M, we hear a lot about security concerns with projects like Polygon being hacked, people with wallets being stolen. How do you keep safe from this concern? Now, before you address this very quick, I just want to mention that, hey, Peter Investor M, you definitely want to tune in to a Tuesday stream. We're going to talk about crypto security. We're going to be asking a lot of this question, and I want you to ask the same question to the guest that I'm going to have on the panel. He's actually a crypto developer. You know him, very likely. It's JB.
Oh, yeah, JB.
Jonathan Barronville. So tune in as well. I mean, I might actually have a call-in link if you want to join in as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, you definitely want to tune in for that because we'll do much more in depth for this. But if you want to touch very quickly on it, Perry Unlikely, what would you say?
Yeah, I think the easiest way, and I don't even think they're that hard to learn. It's a little bit of a learning gap, but hardware wallet. I think when you use a hardware wallet, it's almost what I like about it is you really have to verify stuff even before you, just from a standpoint of before you send anything, you have to verify it. So you have to look at it on the wallet. So that makes it easier. It's way more secure. And just as far as hacks and things like that, it is going to make it, a lot harder. I've been fortunate to this point. I have somehow, and I hope it didn't happen. I've never been a part of I don't think I've even been a part of a rug pull at this point.
Wow, you're lucky, man.
Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy now.
Well, I've gotten to be honest with you, if you go with this conservative approach, you already mentioned you're a very conservative investor.
Right.
Yeah. So if you stay in the conservative blue chips and then you stay within the less top 500 guys, if you be in the top 500, you get with the 300-400s, where that has the potential to get to the 50s, right? Then that's your play. If you really want to be safe and secure, that's the way to go. But once you start going on a risky project, they have the higher gains, high risk come with high rewards.
Yeah.
And they absolutely. But sorry.
When you get outside of the top 1,000 and you're looking at KuCoin, you're going to get, there's a substantial chance that you could, that things could happen. Now, I went into some projects that were just crap. I picked it and it just wasn't that great, but it was no total loss. I think the worst thing I've done, somehow I was half asleep. I was in bed and I was like, let me send this real quick. I was dozing off. And somehow I sent my money to, instead of my wallet on the exchange, I sent it to the actual exchange's wallet, which I knew it was I don't know how I did it because there was billions of dollars in this exchange.
Guess what?
And I was like, what the
for
world?
Like three years, man. Yes, last night. That was the first time that happened to me, man.
Did it?
Oh, that
Yeah.
happened to me last night, man. And it was $1,000, man. I
Yeah.
wanted to put just a little bit on Affinity after I read that report, and
Yep.
I was like, oh man.
I did the same thing with probably about it was 500 to $1,000, I think. I can't remember. But what
Yeah,
happened is yeah, it might even been smaller than that. But what happened is I actually messaged the exchange, and it took a couple. It might have taken like 2 days, but they actually sent it back to me because they knew. But now that's the thing, that does not happen in these. That's a centralized exchange, like more like the bank. Had that have been the Wild Wild West and decentralized, it's gone. It's
yeah,
gone. So
yeah, for sure, absolutely.
absolutely.
So anyway, guys, make sure you hit the like button, guys. Shout out to you, J Bones, man. Thank you for your support. And make sure you tune in when we're going to hit 1,000 subscribers, guy. Especially you, J Bones. Make sure you tune in. All right. We're going to have a little party, a little stream to talk about that. Alors, c'est complètement perdu. Absolutely. She's asking in French, is it lost? Well, yeah, man, $1,000 gone, man. If you make a mistake like that, it's gone. And guess what? It's as we get more users, there are going to be more user friendly platforms that's going to make that transition more smoothless. But now we're still in the early phases, just about to start mass adoptions. So we don't have the easy platforms yet. We still have to use that long address. Hey, by the way,
Right.
man, shout out to you, bro. I forgot about that. Yeah, I shout out to you. I forgot to mention that, man. We were talking about that long address, right?
Right.
And one of the things you can do to make it so easy to transfer your cryptos is using a web address, right? Using
Yes.
right now I have an address called jcmoney.crypto. So if people and it only works in certain platforms like Trust Wallet, Coinbase Wallet, and Atomic Wallet, and so on. But eventually, this is a trend that's going to be adopted by many other platforms, right?
Right.
So one day, instead of copying and paste that huge long 16 character and more addresses, I can basically use jcmoney.crypto, and then
Right.
that transfer would be much easier to deal with, and that will avoid me from making mistakes like I did yesterday. That was the first
Yes.
time and I've ever made something like that. But I wanted to mention very quickly that you meant I was watching one of your streams with, I think it was Mrs. B Finesse, shout out to her, and then you were mentioning that you bought a domain for one of your content creators that you follow his content, you like his content. So
Yeah.
since,
I bought several actually. It's funny enough, and I didn't realize on that stream, I actually had the lead attorneys also.
really? You're
Yeah,
sure?
I bought the lead attorneys.
Wait, which one do you have?
I had the lead attorney.crypto. And I think I
The lead
also
attorney?
I had the lead attorney.crypto, and I think I bought lead attorney.crypto.
I don't know because I have one too. Let me go check, bro.
Yeah, I've got one. I'll have to pull it up. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, let's pull up, bro.
Yeah, because I had bought it and had actually forgotten. Let me see. It's unstoppable. Let's see which one I got.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to try to measure, measure dicks here, but
Right.
but I'm a competitor by nature, man.
Yes.
So
All right, here we go.
let's see. But man, I'm actually trying to give you a shout out here, and I know that you said that you bought was it Donovan Sharp, right? So
Yeah. No, actually, it's Shannon Sharp on ESPN.
really, I thought it
Yeah, I
was
got
Donovan
Shannon
Sharp.
Sharps. Yes, I have Shannon Sharps.
Wow,
Yeah, I got Shannon Sharps.
you got Shannon Sharp domain,
Yeah. Let me tell you who I got right here.
and you're gonna give him for free?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Oh,
Well, when I got them, I originally just got them. I was like, let me get these. These guys will want them one day. They won't be able to get them. So if it's somebody that's inspired me, I'm like, hey, now, if they want to show me, if you want to throw me a Rolex watch or something like that in the process, I ain't gonna turn it down. But but seriously, no, I really just was thinking. I was like, let me grab his, and I grabbed some other people. So here's the ones I have. I have leadattorney.crypto. I actually have O'Shea Duke Jackson.crypto. I got
But by the way, are you going to give all of these content creators their domain?
if they want them, I'll give them to them. I'll give them to them. But here's the thing too. I've got some other really good ones that I'll make I've got NFTsource.crypto.
Wow.
Yeah, so that one alone will do bigger than all those. So and then I got shannonsharp.crypto, and I got the lead attorney and leadattorney.crypto. So they're just
let me see which lead attorney I have. Oh, okay. Wait. Let me show you, man. Let me show you. So look at this. But so by the way, I was watching this stream, right? And I'm like, man, that's a genius idea.
Yeah.
So I went there, and then I was actually looking for Kevin Samuels, and then I found like the lead attorney dot the Bitcoin. I don't even know if I wrote it right. So I just typed that, and then I got it. And then I got this one too. So, but to be honest with you, I was inspired by this when you were saying you would give him the cryptocurrency, the wallet, if he wanted to. And to be honest, the lead attorney, I would give that to him if he wanted to.
That's the thing. The ones I got, especially you think about the lead attorney's been an inspiration to me. Even O'Shea Duke Jackson, what he does, man. I don't know. It just be, especially them being content creators as well.
Yeah.
It would just be hard for me, especially looking at O'Shea Duke Jackson, the people he's helped in this space. I just couldn't imagine trying to. Hey, and there's nothing wrong with capitalism, by the way. There's nothing wrong with charging. I wouldn't be mad if somebody had money.
That's where I was heading, man. I mean, I honestly respect that. I respect that. I wanted to give you a shout out. Would I be able to do for I would definitely, and that inspired me to go get that wallet, right? Because I think they just released the dot wallet crypto, and they automatically charge more for them because dot wallet is kind of like a better keyword than dot crypto, especially when it's receiving your payment. So I got the lead attorney dot wallet, and if you wanted that, I would give it. And that inspiration was from your stream. I listened to you live.
Yeah, no,
let me do it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, man. I just had the thought that because I'm in this space, right? I knew that if I didn't do it, right, someone else eventually would, and they might not be as connected to like the lead as I am. Yeah. So I was like, I just don't want the lead having to pay all kinds of crazy money just to get something. Yeah, and it's funny. I went on a stream and told him that. I'm like, hey, I got your .crypto. He's like, what the hell is that? I'm like, you'll need it one day. I'll give it to you. He's like, well, thanks, Perry.
Shout out to you, man. And I'm on the same boat as you, man. If he wants the dot wallet too, I'll give it to him. But I just wanted to know that you inspired me to do the same.
Yeah,
but man, at the same time, I believe in capitalism too. And look at this, man. Look at what I got. Kevin Samuels dot wallet. Kevin Samuels dot crypto.
That's awesome, man. That is absolutely
Kevin
awesome.
Samuel that Bitcoin. I went and got a couple of them, but I don't know, man. I don't know if I'll do the same deal for this guy, And this guy is a high value man,
Right.
So I'm going to exercise my option here,
right,
and put a high value price.
I love it, man.
On this, man. I mean, if we're talking about less than 500 subscribers, maybe, but over 1 million, my friend.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
But you know what? Here's what's funny. Even if someone had mine and was like, "Hey, man, give me 1,000," I probably would. Whatever. If I want it, I'll pay him. I don't care. This is how I am. It don't. Like I say, I like capitalism. I have no problem with it. So, absolutely. Now, here's the deal. It's all about who you're connected to, right? And no, I don't know Shannon Sharp, but I appreciate, I don't know him personally, but I appreciate what he does. And, if it was Taylor Swift.crypto,
oh yeah,
cha-ching. You know what I mean? So,
but man, I didn't know that. I thought it was Donovan Sharp, Shannon Sharp, man. That is a good play. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, I'm even more motivated. Shout out to you, man.
I looked for Skip Bayless. I looked for some of those other guys. I was like, oh, I got to get Shannon Sharp. So let me try. And it was available. I was like, boom. I snatched it up right away.
Oh, it's a good buy, man. That was a good buy. One day, all these addresses will be worth a lot of money. I was telling that as an example to someone. Just check how the world works, right? This guy is also a realtor in my group. So I appeared to El Guapo's stream. He has a channel called Beautiful Light. He made a
Yeah,
post
I like how
about
rock
me about the crypto staking video that I made. Again,
Mm-hmm.
guys, if you don't want to know what how to do staking, how to do yield farming, I made an intro video about that. It's a stream. It's go walk you through from A to Z how to do it. This is the type of content I could have easily put on my course for payment, but I put it on YouTube for free. So go check it out, guys. But yeah, he made a stream, comment a post about it. Someone as one of his subscribers saw my post, watched my video, liked it, and then decided to sign up to my membership.
That's
Uh,
cool.
and then we were talking about it because part of what I do is I also give consultation when you take all that. And then I was talking about it, and I was giving him an idea of what's possible with cryptocurrencies. And as a real estate agent, and I was as a realtor, you understand the concepts of property, whether it's online or in the
Right.
physical world or in the metaverse, right? So I showed him, Kevin Samuels, and he loves all those contents. So he didn't say anything. He's like, thank you for telling me this. The same night, he went and bought Fresh and Fit.
Oh,
He bought
yes.
Fresh and Fit. If in case you don't know, guys, Fresh and Fit is this channel in the manosphere that's very successful.
Very
They
successful.
started last year, and all of a sudden they're almost at 500,000 subscribers, making lots and lots of money online. They're very successful this year. They went in drama that made them more popular somehow. But anyway, he bought Fresh and Fit. He even used the real name of Fit to as a wallet. He bought
Oh
that.
my
He bought
gosh.
Fresh.
Yeah.
He bought all of them, and I'm like, man. At the same time, I was happy. I'm like, yes, you
You're
did
like,
it.
man, why didn't I
But
get that?
but at the same time,
Yeah.
the competitor in me was like, man, I should have thought of that. But anyway, at the end of the day, I'm still happy that they did that. And also, I
Absolutely.
found this comment. I think that comment was great. Cool. That's my interest too. I'm licensed too. Shout out to you, Rory Davis. I hope you're still
Absolutely.
here. But hey, man, we were talking about ideas and the decentralized. If maybe you can have a brokerage account, I mean, maybe you can have a realtor broker, right? You can be the first one, and then you could be a second one, and
Yeah.
then you can have 10 realtors out there
Look,
scouring the lands.
the possibilities are endless. Do you know that? And I can't remember which blockchain it's on. There is a place in the metaverse right now where you can go, and I got to look it up. You literally, it's a casino in the metaverse, and people are getting paid to work to be the dealers.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
that's been
wild.
there since last year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy, man, and yeah, it's I think it's definitely the future. That's where it's going. Well, I think last year we kicked off what I call the remote economy. Right,
Yep.
we went from the gig economy to the remote economy, and the remote economy is going to be the gig economy via remotely. Right, you stay
Absolutely.
home, and then it's going to be a lot easier. We see the introduction of that with Fiverr.com, with platforms that allows you to hire a freelancer, and then it's going to be easier with the metaverse, guys, and then the businesses will be one day you'll see my website. Right now my website is a 2D platform. It's going to be a 3D platform on the metaverse. You can try out my shirts for sales. You can try out many things. So yes, that's the future for it. So I know we've been kicking it for a while. So
I've enjoyed it, man. I've enjoyed it.
absolutely. But is there anything that you would like the audience to know about you, about crypto, about DeFi, about Sunday Swap? Anything you want to add? And of course they can learn, they can go on your channel, subscribe if they want to learn more. But is there anything you would like to leave the audience with today?
Yeah. Really, just I just encourage. Like sometimes you just hurt for people, man. When I hear people speaking of why they can't do something, I'm someone who believes, look, we do, a lot of us have stuff though. We all have something we got to overcome. But I'm telling you, regardless of that, I don't know that an opportunity will ever come again where you could, if someone said, how could you turn 100 to 1,000,000? I'm not going to tell you it's easy at all. But the only place I know that that's possible is cryptocurrency. I mean, you literally can flip, 100, to 200 to 1,000 to 10,000, and it's happening. And I'm seeing, just ordinary people's lives change every single day. And what's interesting, I'm seeing people, especially in America, you're talking about the most abundance of any place in the world. And I'm seeing people that say they can't really do it. I'm seeing people come from other countries, or that in other countries, especially like in crypto revolution, right? I mean, they're blowing up and leaving their jobs. I mean, people start off with, literally $200 to 7,000 to I've made 400,000 this year, like stuff like that. It's just crazy to watch that. So I just urge people to put down any pre-existing ideas they have. Every time I see somebody in the chat or in some chat, it's generally, if I'm on someone's chat, like a bigger platform, and they're like, crypto's a scam, I just laugh. I mean, I feel sorry for them, because it's like, you're talking about it's a scam. People are making tons every day. So I just encourage people to read about it and know that either way it's coming. So you might as well get a piece of the pie, because it's going to happen with or without you, So, just like we talked about the smartphone, now just in the working world, you got to have email on your phone almost. So you can either go ahead and get hit to it, or you can get left behind and catch up later. So that's the most important thing.
You can still find videos on 1994, people on like a well-known TV station talking about what is a mail? What is this?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
And guess what? By the time we were reaching 1999, we had every market. You're the best investor ever if you had invested in a .com company, right?
Yeah.
So
I remember when we thought Blackberries. And I'll never forget this. I was probably early 20s, and I remember it like yesterday. This black lady came downtown, hopped in the car, and I'm from the country, so I remember she had an Escalade. She got out, she had a Blackberry, and I was like, "Oh man, I know she rich because she had a Blackberry." That's crazy. But now, I mean, and then Blackberry's gone now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy. I remember thinking it like, yo, she a businesswoman. Like, she's dressed nice. Man, she got a Blackberry. I know she's doing things, but now it's like everybody got a smartphone. So it's just crazy to think back to that. It might have been, yeah, it was probably, it probably wasn't that long. It was probably like 2006 maybe. Man, yeah. Because it wasn't 2001. 2001, I had the blue Nokia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so it was probably around 2006ish, maybe 7ish. But it's just crazy how the world has changed.
It flipped so fast, man, so fast.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. Can you imagine you did not do your research? Let's say you were an adult, you were in your 20s, and you're in the early 90s, right?
Right.
You hear a lot about the .coms, internet. You don't do any research. You don't learn about it. You go out there and you go get your jobs, you save jobs, and then you put in the stock market, right? You just put in, you're buying your blue chips stocks. You're doing great because before 2008, you were doing great. And then guess what, man? In 5 years later, if you don't have an email, you're basically like no one knows you. You can't work, you can't receive. Now in Canada we use email as a way to transfer money. You guys have Cash App, we have e-transfer. So man, email is like almost an
everything.
Identity.
Yeah, it's
everything.
Crazy.
So imagine having to learn it when everyone learns it, right?
Yep.
But at least the internet, it wasn't. You could have made money from it. You could have started business early on. Imagine if you started an e-commerce back then, right?
Right.
If you were one of the first one and you had some traction. Gary V. We're talking about like early 2000s, right?
Yep.
He had his wine business from his parents. He decided to put that into the internet, making videos, making YouTubes, leveraging YouTubes. Now look at him, right? So there was the trend of the .coms, then there was the trends of social media, then there was the trends of YouTube that made all the other trends bigger. The internet trends bigger, the social media trends bigger, right? And then the video trends, YouTube started and look at it right now. Now they're saying The YouTube content creator are the fastest small business growth, right?
Right.
When you're looking at all the small business, the growth of all of them, being a YouTube content creator is the fastest ones. And
Yeah.
and now even traditional businesses are making YouTube channels as
Yeah.
ways to connect with their audience. That's the way of the future. But imagine you had that insight 10, 20 years ago. Where would you be now? And that's the new trend we're heading now, guys.
Abs-
Cryptocurrencies is the new internet. Metaverse will be the new internet. Educate yourself with it now. Join a community that is doing the research. Subscribes to Perry Unlikely.
Thank you.
Stay informed. Understand what DeFi is. Try it, guys. Start with $50 if you need to just practice. Understand how to transfer money from a wallet to a wallet. Like, do the basic works, and it will become a lot easier over time. But right now, if you already have that knowledge, it will be a lot easier for you to see opportunities before everyone else.
Absolutely. One last thing I want to add is because there's so much talk about the wealth gap and things like that. It's crazy. From what I know about this space, you and I, because of how we're into it, where we'll be at 10 years from now, we'll just be so many. I mean, from a financial perspective, just from spending time in the space continuously, it's crazy. But, I was telling someone, Deca Millions, it's just an afterthought at this point. It's just about staying the course. And it's crazy to think that way, but just seeing the opportunities here, it's just stay in the space and we'll get there. It's just about being at the right place, man. So
I got you.
yeah.
I miss the .com. I miss YouTube. I'm not going to miss crypto, my friend.
Hey, same here. I was born for crypto. I'm not going to miss. I missed the housing bubble here. I missed the .com. I've been waiting for my opportunity, and it dropped out of the sky, and I'm not letting it pass me.
And guess what? You're mentioning something. You don't know any opportunity where you can turn $100 to $1 million. I would even say I don't know any opportunity where you can do that in 1 year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even you're absolutely right.
Man, you can do that with 1 year. But not only that, guys. I came up with this analogy. I went to a networking event. I met a guy. I met a guy in this event. I gotta try to reach out to him again. He actually makes his wealth. He's engineering his wealth by buying franchises and then flip them at some point. But he's doing very good on that. But we were talking about crypto, right? And I told him, look, every century there is one technology or one innovation that is constant throughout the whole century. And then, had you been early on, it only comes once a century, right?
Absolutely.
I believe for the 21st century, uh, internet slash cryptocurrencies are going to be looked at one era, one time in the world, because it happened so fast. We're talking about in less than 20 years. You had the boom of internet, you had the
Yeah.
boom of social media, then you have the boom the cryptocurrencies. So 30 years basically, that's a huge in a grand scheme of things, that's just going to be like the internet boom, right? As a whole, right?
Right.
And I was telling him that imagine being in the 1900s, right? Imagine having a 1900 and imagine someone give you a crystal ball, right? Let's say that was a psychic, right?
Right.
And then that psychic, you heard that she's good at predicting the future. She had a crystal ball and she's looking at that crystal ball and she's telling you, hey, there is going to be so many innovations right there. We're living in farming industry. This is how we make our living. If you start a business, and listen very carefully to what I'm saying, if you start a business that perfects that master and be specialized on building factories, right? I'm not saying starting a factory. I'm saying imagine in 1900 a psychic tell you go start a business that specialize in making factories, right? Where would you be right now? How much that would be worth if you were the first one? how much that would be worth. Wherever you go in any country, if you were the first one, you would make a lot of wealth very early on. Any companies that are trying to do the same, you can buy them. You can do that in many countries, open franchises in many countries.
Yep.
Where would you be right now? You would have
Yep.
literally $1 billion within the first 20 years of starting this company. And back then, $1 billion was a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
now, right? I'm not. If you did a factory alone, you would reach many millions,
Right.
right? So I'm asking. So that's what I'm saying. And back then, it was very hard for anyone to conceive the idea of investing large capital to leave what was traditionally working for everyone to start something new in the industrialized country, as a factory, right?
Absolutely.
Right now, imagine you had a business that specialized in, from scratch, you buy land, you put up automation, you put up all these machines, and then as technology evolve, you stay updated with the technology, and now you can do it with robots. You would grow exponentially every decades within that century, right? So now it's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. That was back then in 1900. That was the innovation of the 20th century, right?
Right.
The third industrial revolution, whatever led to that, right? It started very early on, and then we had it after the war, right? It boom. Now in cryptocurrency world, this is where we are.
Absolutely.
This is where we are.
Full
We are
circle.
at the beginning of the we're seeing the expansion of the innovation of that century. The metaverse, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, internet, all that will be consistent throughout the entire century. All right. So that's the
Absolutely.
opportunity we have. So being early on, leveraging that wealth, make money along the way, passing that along to your legacy, man. That's how we build generational wealth, and that's really generational wealth because it's going to pass from generation to generation, and it's just consistently going to grow because the world will be leading to that. They have to lead into that if they want. Just like email is fundamental now in the Western world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better.
Man. So with that said, man, thank you for joining on the panel,
Oh, my pleasure, man. My pleasure.
and thank you for joining on the panel. But and we I know you have to go, but hey, we'll link up any other times, especially if you want to talk about real estate.
Oh,
I'm planning
we
a couple
will.
streams.
And what time are you gonna be on there with
Perry,
JB?
oh, it's JB. It will be either 7:30 or 8
Okay.
p.m.
I'll
On
plan.
Tuesday.
I'll plan to drop in and listen to that for sure, man. Excited to hear about that. That dude's got a wealth of knowledge, man.
Absolutely, man. Let me double check. Yeah, it's going to be 8 p.m. on Tuesday. So yeah, 2 days from now. So guys, make sure you tune in for that. We're going to talk about crypto security. But with that said, thank you very much, Perry
Absolutely.
Unlikely. Go subscribe to him. The link is in the description. And thank you for all the picks and the information you have on Sunday Swap. And I'm going to check
Thank you.
some of them
My
tonight.
pleasure. Let me know your thoughts on Lambden once you do once you dig into the metrics.
Man, you know what? I'll let you what it's on, but all I gotta say, man, all I gotta say, don't miss that deal, my friend.
No,
Don't
yeah,
miss
no,
that
I'll check
deal,
it out. I definitely will. I
bro,
definitely will,
man.
man.
Be part of that community, man. Because we look into, we have guys that are very dedicated. They look for opportunities. They share it with everyone, and it's really a community that we want to share the information and grow together,
Great.
right? That's
Good
what I'm
deal.
building. And but yeah, man, join in, man. I can't
All
wait to
right.
have you on there.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you.
All
All
right,
right.
all
Take
right.
care.
Good night. All right, guys, that's it. That was Perry Unlikely, upcoming YouTuber, doing very great on YouTube right now. But check him out, guys. Check him out, and he dropped some knowledge out there, man. Drop some gems. Drop some gems, and then he's, as you can see, guys, he's very nice guys, and I love interacting with him. But with that said, guys, I hope you learn a lot about decentralized finance. Love the way he defined it. Trustless banking. I think that was great. I couldn't said it any better myself. And yes, guys, there's a lots of future in it, and I think we drop a lot of gems in there. So if you didn't catch it from the beginning, rewind it back. Make sure you hit the like button and please share information. You can share this stream either on your social media or anyone's who are interested to know about decentralized finance. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so tune in whenever we'll get there, and we're trying to get there before the end of the year. So please like, please share, please comment after the videos are released, and we'll connect on Tuesday on the podcast. And make sure you tune in for that one, guys. This is going to be a you will not find a content like this anywhere in the internet, right? Someone that has a deep knowledge of how to create cryptocurrencies, that is willing to put his face out there, his reputation out there, to drop us some knowledge, to go deep on the coding aspect, on the security aspects. Make sure you tune in for that. I'm very excited for this one. But with that said, guys, thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. And thank you for being active on the chat. And we'll be on the next one. Shout out to you.